welcome to Infamous, the audio podcast. This is Brandon, or Mulus on the forum.
This is Parker, go by Dr. Mantis Toboggan MD on forums.
This is Jeremy. I changed it again. I went with hashtag what the fuck is Dr. Voodoo a doctor of? Or is he just like an orthodontist? Like, what is that about?
He's a chiropractor.
Voodoo isn't a real fucking doctor profession, bro.
Is he now?
Wait, because Voodoo is not his last name. So
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Dr. Voodoo.
It is not?
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
PhD in voodoo?
Wouldn't-
Bullshit.
that-
From what accredited college would that be from?
That would be
jackass?
really on the nose if this was like Blackagar Boltagon and his name was like
That's what I thought it was.
Dr. O.
His
Voodoo
name was
Doo.
William Voodoo.
Yeah.
Dr. William Gregory Voodoo. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Just
No one,
confirming.
like, tell me the person in admissions who doesn't just kick that application. He's like, William Gregory Voodoo? Yeah, that's fake. Shred it. Like, just doesn't even check it.
Yep.
0 phone calls made. Just shred his application.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, welcome back to another amazing episode of Infamous. We are going to start off some quick announcements. Parker, I have some good news for you.
Mm-hmm.
It might be bad news from your perspective. It's good news from my perspective. No, wait. The opposite. It's good news for you, bad news for me. You were here first, so you're going to get 2 episodes taken off of your probation.
Oh,
Ah.
That puts you down to 3 more episodes. Wait, no. 973 more episodes of probation.
I like that.
Sorry.
I like that a lot.
My bad. Sorry. You also owe Jeremy 11 pizza rolls. Those pizza rolls are getting real stale. You're not allowed to say the words pineapple, blade, antiquing, and another word that is temporarily held in place by this asterisk.
Mm-hmm.
By
By the way, Jeremy, I think constantly about the pizza rolls I owe you. Did you know this?
Yeah.
I think
I know
constantly
you
about
dodge me all the time.
Yeah. I know he's requested them on no less than 973 occasions. So. All right, Parker, do you have anything you want to say?
I say we got news.
News.
News. Okay, so news this week, we have some errata, some updates to the band restricted list and affiliation. So first we'll start off with errata. One of the only pieces of new errata is Captain Sam was officially errated so that his leadership ability does not proc on grunt death. So if you're playing one of the grunts that auto dies or just kill a grunt, that does not proc his ability, which as it was written on the card it would have, but they have changed that.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Not surprising.
Yeah, not
Sam
surprising
Wilson
at all.
is garbage. Don't play him.
Yeah. So that makes
I
him
mean, this
super
is
bad.
good because they showed that they're willing to make changes because they think it's the right thing to do and not because it's abusing the game.
Right.
And so clearly they were like, okay, well, we never wanted this to be part of it, so let's go ahead and get rid of it before it's an issue.
Right.
I like that.
Another piece of errata has to do with Doom Prophecy. I'm not exactly sure how this errata is different from the because they redid the thing in the big printout, right? The big PDF printout. So I'm not sure how this changed it, but it says now that it's an allied Asgard character, may spend 3. Otherwise, it's totally the same. The only thing is it must be an Asgard character, which I thought is what it said on the new print, but maybe it didn't.
No, they changed it. They took it off restricted.
Right.
So now Asgard can take it with 2 restricted cards.
Well, he's saying
Well,
you got
that's
errata
no,
as well.
it's in the errata. I was about to talk about restricted. That is true.
Oh.
Also, they also took it off restricted, but I'm talking about in
What
the
is
errata.
the new wording?
So in the new errata, it has in bold. The only word apparently that was changed was they just added the word Asgard to it. So at the start of the activation phase, an allied Asgard character may spend 3 to play this card. I did not look at the.
This is old. They did that before.
Oh, so they just.
It wasn't just Asgard affiliated. It was Asgard character before, so that's probably just an outdated errata that was still marked as new.
Okay, all right. Well, then the other bit was the banned or restricted update. We found out no new cards were banned or restricted, but one was taken off, and that is Doom Prophecy. So no longer will your Asgard team regret taking Doom Prophecy. You'll just regret it for other reasons, like it's bad.
Nobody regretted taking Doom Prophecy before because nobody took it.
Yeah. I will say this, though. If in the weird case you really, really want to play Angela, and you're playing against Convocation, and they don't have any physical attacks, maybe you could play Doom Prophecy. I thought about this the other day. I was like,
I don't know that it's bad, but it's not good, and it's in a not good affiliation.
Yeah.
So who cares?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it only works with probably precisely just Angela, because she'll actually get the chance to use it more than once in that turn. She'll almost always be able to get there to use it because of her high mobility. It actually probably could get played with Angela, but then you're playing Angela in Asgard, so that you can play Doom Prophecy.
Has anyone actually tried this? Like, what if you just play Doom Prophecy with Thor on turn 2?
Yeah.
Like, does it really change his survivability that much?
Right. And he does. And
he's still 14 hit points, still heals.
Right. And the hammer the hammer hits a lot harder, right? So.
Yeah, because that gives him a 9 dice ranged attack at range 5. Who cares what his physical defense is? Right?
It's not. The ranged attack is energy, isn't it? Isn't it energy?
No. What?
I thought it was
crazy.
Energy.
I'm checking.
I'm looking right now. It is it's physical. You had right. It's the
Yeah.
God of Thunder. The God of
Thunder.
The God of Thunder is energy. Yeah. Hammer throw is.
You know what, Parker? You know what's energy?
What?
Lightning. That's energy.
Right.
You know what's physical? Hammers.
I didn't know it was called hammer throw. I thought it was like a lightning bolt out of his hammer or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now, yeah. 9 dice hammer throw on turn 2. Bam. And then he just turns into a turret, and he's just like throw hammer, throw hammer, throw hammer. And then you got to go get him, and he's still got 14 hit points.
I was gonna say also, the strike is 6 dice and has a super throw, and the wild's gonna happen a lot more if he has.
So if you do close the
dice.
gap to go get him, he can just 4 Asgard at you and just delete you with 20 dice of damage and throws.
Yeah. No,
might be interesting.
No, I think Doom Prophecy with Thor and Doom Prophecy with Angela, like, it's not nothing. It's actually something, I think.
Angela, because she might trigger her super cleave thing.
Also, she gets to move and attack kind of like Carnage does, as long as she's killing people. And her basic does her basic have pierce, or is it just bleed? Oh no, it just places her. It places her. It doesn't. But it is.
I don't think she does any of that.
But it is a 6 dice, so it's a 10 dice. And then Heaven's Wrath will be 9 dice plus the target size. So you're rolling like 11 to 12, 11 to 14 dice, and it does have the super cleave on it if you get it to go off. So like it's like, again, you're spending 5 points in Doom Prophecy to make it happen, but because she has Angelic Assassin, she might be able to use it more than once per turn. She probably just dies, really fast that way because she doesn't have a nice range attack. But Thor uses it better because he, like you said, he could actually not care about having lower defense if he's doing it from far away.
So,
and it also, he needs as much dice as he can get.
Right. But when you look at
Angela's more of just a weird hitter.
Right.
I'm going to give you a hot take.
Mm-hmm.
The new leader for Asgardians is going to have one of those Royal Sampler crit things with the question mark, the star, the period, and the exclamation point, and will pop off a crazy wild attack. And I bet that this card is for that.
Like, it's going to be like a Dark Man.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy one, and I think that's what they're trying to do.
I think
that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, the keyword could be like Odin Force, and then if you roll one of each result, you win the game.
Yes.
I think with Doom Prophecy, that one way to look at Doom Prophecy right now is, what if your Thor, for the low price of not having defense dice, had 4 Worthy Hammers? You're like, well,
it's better than that because you can still play tactics.
Right? Yeah, better than that. You're like, well, that sounds.
I take it back immediately. Never mind. It's still way worse because you don't score 4 victory points.
That's true. You're not winning the game while you're doing it. So I get it. But the point is, if you like the idea of Worthy Hammers and that's what you wanted to do, then Doom Prophecy is not the worst card. I have been staring at. Brandon knows I've been staring at Asgardians. They've been leering at me from the corner of my build tables recently. Make Asgard great again might be my theme of.
Oh God.
He's been trying. Yeah,
I've been looking at it. But anyway, so that other news was our affiliation list. So we heard you like mutants, and so MCP put some mutants in your mutants. We got lots of mutants all over the place. What we knew already was that X-Force was getting Honey Badger and X-23 because it got spoiled in a quasi-official picture featuring all the models. What we did not know was which of the mutants were becoming X-Men, and the answer is they are. Colossus, Gambit, Honey Badger, Magic, Rogue, and X-23. Juggernaut is technically not a mutant, so he's not, but that's it.
That's correct. All the mutants are X-Men.
Yeah. However, Magic also got in Defenders, which is one more way to play Convocation and Defenders and Midnight Suns without ever actually having to, worry about what affiliation you're playing. You just go ahead and just play them all together.
You kind of look. I'm sure it's possible to build a list that's 3 faction affiliated with all 3 leaders on the table, and then pick afterwards what you're playing.
Right.
I do think technically that they've retconned Juggernaut 2 being a mutant, but his mutant power is not related to the fact that he's the Juggernaut.
Mm-hmm.
It's like some dumb one that has something stupid that basically does nothing.
Yeah.
It's like Omega Red. Like Omega Red's a mutant, but he's basically an abomination. The fact that he's a mutant matters very little when he's strangling you to death with tentacles.
Right. So we also got some surprises. Some of the mutants also got in Brotherhood. We did not see that happening.
Also some of the not mutants.
Right. So Rogue, Colossus, and Gambit were added to the list, even though we knew Juggernaut was going to be in there for a while. But Rogue, Colossus, and Gambit were all put in Brotherhood, that's 2 DR characters in a faction with magnetic refraction. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw they were in Brotherhood. Is I went, that is a lot of never gonna die, like ever gonna die. They're also 4 cost. So Magneto, Rogue, Colossus, like, how are you ever killing Colossus? I don't know how you are ever killing Colossus if he has cover and all the things that he does.
They like beefcakes, man. Beefcakes come to the Brotherhood.
Yeah. So there you have it. We have all new. So this is what I want to talk about. Like, I know this is not our main topic, but I wanted to know, Brandon, you're so super excited for Brotherhood. What do you have out of this new affiliation stuff for Brotherhood that you want to do?
Are we moving on to the next segment?
What do you mean next segment?
The next segment is currently playing.
Oh, well, you haven't played it yet. You're just going to talk about what you've theory crafted?
Well, I mean, but I've also renounced my old ways of playing the game, so...
That's true.
Renounced your old ways.
I guess...
I've renounced. No, but I'm very excited. I've been waiting for this. I haven't played a game in 3.5 months, so I was waiting for Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Now I get to play games again.
I was going to say, I don't think...
Uncaged.
Was anybody... Right. I mean, I know we're all going to talk about, like, currently playing stuff and talk about what we want to do with the new affiliations, but was there anything on here that surprised you guys? Like, really...
I was surprised Rogue and Gambit were. I know Colossus has been Brotherhood in a lot of storylines, and he's actually, I think, as commonly in Brotherhood as in X-Men. So, but Rogue and Gambit surprised me. I think their origins were. I know Rogue specifically was in Brotherhood, but that Gambit was more of a criminal. That kind of surprised me that he's in Brotherhood.
I was trying to think if there was in the Ultimates universe.
Because he's part of the Thieves Guild, wasn't he?
Yeah, I can't remember. I was trying to remember if the Ultimates universe, maybe he was... I feel like they've all been part of it at one time or another. It's kind of a...
Because my understanding was that Rogue was initially effectively part of the Brotherhood because of Mystique, was basically her mother. And so... Right. But I didn't think... But obviously Gambit wasn't with her at that point. And I never knew that Gambit was part of the Brotherhood. In fact, I thought him and Magneto didn't really get along. So that kind of threw me. But obviously there could be another storyline that they're referencing with that. So, or maybe they just didn't want to put Rogue in and not put Gambit in because of the obvious connection.
Funny thing is you now have a way to play Gambit in an affiliation while also playing his Dark Past reactive card, which says you can't be in Uncanny X-Men. I just assumed Gambit was going to be only an X-Men, and that's why they gave him a card that says if you're not putting him in X-Men, then he gets something.
Which card?
Dark Past. Which is each allied character...
I don't remember this card.
Okay. It says, during the power phase, if your squad is not the Uncanny X-Men, Gambit may play it for free. Every allied character within 3 of Gambit gains stealth until the end of the round.
Ooh.
So it's a way to give your Brotherhoods stealth. Or, well, honestly, you put Gambit anywhere if you want to give a certain something stealth. But as long as it's not X-Men. If he's X-Men affiliated, he doesn't get it. But he does get Storm's stealth, so who cares? So it's kind of like, oh, boo-hoo, you mean you don't get stealth for a tactics card when my leader gives him stealth anyway? So, oh, wait, no, not give him stealth, gives him cover. Sorry, gives him cover. She has stealth.
Are you looking at the card right now?
Yeah.
The guy in the background of the card between Sabretooth and Gambit, that's Harpoon, right?
Yeah, he's an acolyte.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
which is
I knew a guy because of the book I read.
Nice. Yeah, that's hard.
But I've never seen him, so he looks fucking stupid as I thought he looked.
The Acolytes, which was Magneto's super terrorist version of the Brotherhood, they were pretty dumb. they were born out of a simpler time when X-Men was all about spandex and cup size and muscles. Yeah.
Anyway, I have a bit of a question for you. Let's go ahead and just move into currently playing.
Let's do it.
I guess I'll just go first because it's easy. So, is there a more perfect faction than Brotherhood?
Well,
what? It's a fair question.
I think right now they're going to be. It's kind of weird. I felt like originally they were the, it felt like really basic offense, right? Like really blunt object kind of offense faction. And now they feel like, no pun intended, like the Juggernaut faction. They feel like they will just run over your army. Like they'll run directly over it.
They certainly are an attrition faction, but they have some elements of scenario play. But if we look at their affiliation now, they conveniently have exactly 10 models. Mm-hmm. So you can just play the Brotherhood as your roster.
True.
I appreciate this.
They do have a pretty good spread in terms of like points.
They're a bit heavy on the top end because they got a 6, 2 5s, and I think 3 4s.
Yeah, 3 4s. 2
4s.
No 3.
3 4s.
Colossus, Rogue, and Sabretooth.
Yeah. So it's a bit points heavy, but there's a lot of tools in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're just fine. They do all the things that you need. I don't think anyone can complain now that plays Brotherhood and say that I don't have X, Y, and Z. I mean, they have access to everything at this point, so have at it. I've just never found them that exciting. I'm glad that you do. So, I mean, you're representing hardcore. I love Magneto and what he does, but I just don't care about Brotherhood that much.
I'm going to run over everybody.
The one thing about Brotherhood that's kind of strange is that their best stuff actually doesn't require Brotherhood characters, so it's always just about getting affiliated. Now they actually can be entirely affiliated, but it doesn't really matter that they are at all. And that's one of the things that's kind of interesting about Brotherhood is that, the only card is the book, right? The book of the one that sees in the future, Mystique's book, right? That one's the only thing that says.
I actually don't play that one very often.
Right, and that card's just okay, but I think that's the only one. I think that's the only one that says Brotherhood of Mutants on it. Like that's the character target rather. It's
Asteroid M doesn't say that.
Oh right, Asteroid M is
their key card. that's
Asteroid M's pretty good.
Asteroid M is good. Okay, so there's two. One's probably a B plus. The other one's A. So okay, I stand corrected. There is a reason to play mostly their models.
Well, yeah, but you can play the Books of Truth, and know that you're going to get use out of it without caring how many unaffiliated characters you have. Mm-hmm. Similar with Asteroid M. When you select Asteroid M, just like in Brotherhood with Mothership, you kind of have a plan. It's like Quicksilver's going to get X and Magneto's going to go find him. And you're like, oh no, man, Magneto's wherever he wants to be. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the problem. It doesn't matter if you're running, like, Shuri in your Brotherhood list, for example. Like, that doesn't matter.
Right.
Now, obviously, it dilutes the options, but the fact is that it's probably still going to happen. It's still going to be good.
So, we've talked a little bit about, or as I've been getting more games in, I've learned things like Guardians of the Galaxy has a lot of static models, and so when you're adding unaffiliated things to them, you're usually looking for dynamic things because that's what they don't have, and if they do get more dynamic models, they really start to shine because their static models are fantastic. In Brotherhood, I only got to play them a couple times, and I played a really pared down version of them, so I didn't really get to see. Is there anything when you play Brotherhood you're like, man, I really wish I had this in the faction, and did we get it?
Honestly, Rogue, I think, went a long way. They have a 4-point model that has action economy and damage reduction, and so she's an alternate to Sabretooth that doesn't mind, getting in the middle of everything.
Sabretooth does not like being in the middle of 3 characters. I don't
he'll do okay, but Sabretooth really wants to abuse single characters. Like he doesn't want to fight. Yeah, he doesn't want to fight 100 guys, but he will fight a bunch of little guys just okay. Rogue is another model that can throw, because that's the one thing Sabretooth really can't do is throw stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So she can throw size 4, which is pretty cool. She has charge, the energy absorption thing. She's just a solid character, I think. So I'm very excited to try her in, and also look at her stat line with possible magnetic refraction.
That's what I was saying before. Yeah. A DR with that kind of stat line and magnetic refraction. This is the other bit about the faction that I like. Magnetic refraction is a card where you like to have priority. It isn't 100% necessary, but you like to have priority.
Yeah.
And all their top end models are definitely 4-point models, right? Juggernaut's definitely a 5. Scarlet Witch definitely a 5. Magneto definitely a 6. You have
Scarlet Witch is the biggest question mark there.
Right.
I don't think anybody thinks she'd be okay at 4.
Right. So there are a Colossus is, even though he's pretty. He
could never be a 3-point.
No.
Yeah,
he's a pretty flat. He's a pretty flat character for what he does, but he's definitely a 4 cost. So there are so many things about their faction that you would be super happy playing 3 on 5, and always having magnetic refraction up when you are when it's Magneto, Colossus, Rogue, and you're just here we go. I'll play.
Well, I'm looking at right now, at 19 points, if you can land Demons Downtown at 19, Magneto, Colossus, Rogue, and Juggernaut.
Yeah,
and it's just how do you win that game?
Mm-hmm.
That's just so much beef and damage.
Mm-hmm.
They just walk at you and there's the squeegee, right? The red squeegee that just moves your shit off the table.
Right. You're gonna have a hard time doing anything important to them. That's the thing. You're gonna be able to okay, I really need to remove Rogue or any of these. You're nope, you can't really do that. You can try, you can do damage to them, but you can't just plan on it happening. So yeah, I think it's gonna be. I really want to see it up against. I really want to see New Brotherhood, this kind of model, because a lot of their damage will be based in throws, because they have so many throws all over the place when you play that kind of list. I wonder if something like Hulkbuster will actually bear tons of fruit. If you could save your list 8 or 9 damage, 10 or 12 damage over the course of a game because of how many throws you're either not doing because they have Hulkbuster, or you're just taking so much less damage. I wonder if that kind of thing will happen.
But the fun thing I'm looking at, I'm even looking at putting X-23 and Honey Badger in Brotherhood, because I think Ankle Biter could be really good with how efficient attackers they have. Ankle Biter lowering their defense would be pretty fun. She also has too dangerous to ignore, so she has a taunt effect and healing factor, so she makes you playing exceptional healing worth it, I would say, for 2 points. I don't know. I think she's gonna add a lot of versatility there. So you also have options to do multiple 2-pointers with Toad. I think there's a lot of room in general for the Wave 2 of mutants getting added to all of the affiliations.
I don't know how much. I mean, maybe it works great. And like you said, if you're looking for a reason to try to play, if you're looking for excessive healing, if you're looking for a reason to play it, so you want to add some other characters in the heal, that's fine. But I feel like finding ways to do more 2s and 3s is not going to be what Brotherhood wants to do. I feel like they're just going to be so efficient at 4 points and 5 points that they'll only ever put in Quicksilver for 3, or just blanking on their other 3 costs. Mystique for 3. I feel like they'll be putting that kind of thing in when they really need to, because man, like you said, at 19 points, if you saw those models across from you, who is excited to play that game? Who's okay, I'm going to play attrition against those.
I'm excited.
That's just a brutal. That's a brutalizer, right? And that's what it is.
Yeah.
They're a meat grinder. It's a brutalizing kind of thing.
So what is your 17-point list, Brandon?
For Brotherhood, I haven't really looked at it.
So you're at 11 immediately, right?
Yeah, you need 11.
I mean, I'm going to be playing Juggernauts, yeah. But I think you can play without Magneto. because obviously you have a second leader. So if you want to do a scenario type build, I think Juggernaut's great as like a central anchor, and then you can bring in Toad, Quicksilver, Mystique, which is only 8 more points. That's 13, so you have space for a 4-pointer. You bring in Sabretooth.
Mm-hmm.
So Sabretooth, Quicksilver, Mystique, Toad, and Juggernaut. That's a pretty solid 17 if you're playing scenario. Because all your guys pick up extracts for free, and you can mark a secure point that you hold without standing on it. And then you've just got 5 decent scenario models at 17 points, and Juggernaut's a fucking bitch and a half to get rid of.
I'm trying to find space for Sabretooth. I feel like Rogue always takes it.
They do different things, and so if you want a central board piece, like you're either taking Juggernaut or Rogue or Colossus. If you want a flank piece, Sabretooth is unquestionably better, I think.
Okay.
Because he's just so fast, and he's impossible to lose a fight with 1v1.
See, I would actually almost take Rogue on a flank, because Rogue's actually going to get to contribute much faster than Sabretooth will. I've seen so many times when
long.
That's the thing is, I've seen so many games where at speed long, I had to move twice on turn 4 to come in to contribute, because yes, he totally locked down that flank, and nobody could take it from him because they only could send one. You know, my opponent could send one.
Well, but then you just play Asteroid M, because you're not playing Brotherhood though.
Right, I'm playing X-Force.
With Brotherhood, you use Asteroid M him in, and
that's
you're like,
right.
Get fucked.
You're right. That's true. I'm thinking X-Force in my mind, and everybody's got to walk in X-Force.
Yeah. Get a fucking truck. Orcs love trucks.
Yeah. Teleporter, right? That's how they pronounced it.
A teleporter.
Yeah,
teleporter. Get Vanisher in here.
Out of curiosity, do you play Gambit? Do you actually play Gambit? He's a 3-pointer.
Oh, I don't even know what he fucking does. I didn't expect to be playing him because I didn't think he was gonna be in Brotherhood. Let's see. Push on a bow staff. Oh yeah. He's the one that can get auto wilds, right? Or pseudo auto wilds. +2 dice. Because you can fuel him really easily.
Yeah.
Giving everyone stealth is going to be like a pseudo pretty sneaky sis, I think, which will be fun.
Oh, it's actually
with stealth.
It's much better than Pretty Sneaky Sis, because Pretty Sneaky Sis costs a lot.
Is this free?
Yeah, it's free.
Oh.
Gambit does it for free, and you just have to be within range 3 of Gambit. That covers a lot of board.
That's cool.
That's a really big deal, because the problem with Pretty Sneaky Sis is if you moved and you picked up a point, you don't get Pretty Sneaky Sis. It's gone.
Yeah.
So, as a turn 2 play, Pretty Sneaky Sis is hard to do. Gambit is easy.
You think you play Pardon Me, Sugar?
If you're playing Colossus, probably absolutely not.
Because if you're actually playing Brotherhood, you're not going to use this card because Magneto's not giving her the effect, right? Because she's already getting cover because of the card.
Right.
Unless you just want to play this so she doesn't have to stand near him. That seems... But you have to use the 2 to play the card, so it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What does it do again? What does it do?
It's basically she deals a damage to either any of these characters that are within 2 of her. Wolverine, Cyclops, Storm, Deadpool, or Magneto. And then based on who you did the damage to, you get a different effect. Magneto gives cover. Gotcha. Deadpool gives her... and chooses enemy character to lose 2 power. Storm gives her +2 dice on her next attack. Cyclops give her... She can use the Optic Blast stat card. Wolverine gives her healing factor 2. So Wolverine's probably the best choice, in my opinion. Because healing factor 2 is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, spend 0 power, heal 2 is solid on a DR character.
Also, Wolverine will heal it if you did it before.
Exactly, and Wolverine's going to heal it anyway, so who the fuck cares?
Now, mind if I cut in?
Yes, that is a cool card.
I do not know if I don't know if you play it, but if you're playing her or Colossus, I think you definitely play it if Colossus is not there. But even if Colossus is there, it just makes it's a tangled web of shit your opponent has to deal with.
I can tell you that Quicksilver is already a fucking pain in the ass to deal with when he's got free cover. And so free cover, plus you have to spend power to target him, and then you spend power to target him and he moves away and cancels your attack and you get a new attack, but you still have to spend power to target him again, is fucking annoying. Yeah, it's a lot of fun stuff. And then the last Gambit card, Charming Thief, is Power Phase this round. when an enemy character within 4 of Gambit uses a power, they have to spend, or Gambit gains a power. So he basically gets a soul stone for free. That seems not worth it at all.
Not worth it.
That seems really bad, actually.
I think if for some reason you really wanted to play Cyclops like Blue Team X-Men, maybe, but I still don't think so.
Yeah. One cute thing you could do is Magneto can like get put in, or if Magneto's in melee and he hits people with his reverse polarities. Normally the play is to move them in, but you could push them away knowing that next turn you're going to play Dark Past and get stealth. And so they're outside of range 3 now, and you have stealth. And then they have to walk back into range.
Yeah.
And so you can use it defensively, which would be really cool.
Also, when is your opponent going to imagine that's going to happen? So they didn't play for that at all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeremy, to finish your point of what do you play at 17, so we've talked about, I know I'm playing Juggernaut, and obviously Magneto if I'm doing the Magneto build. So that's 11. 6 points left means you're doing Quicksilver and somebody else, in my opinion. Because you don't have 3 2s available unless you want to do, like... You could do Rocket, Honey Badger, and Toad if you want to build that kind of roster, and that could be really cool.
Why do you have to have 3 characters? Why are you...
Because you have 6 points left at 17. This is talking about building specifically a 17-point attrition roster.
Why don't you do, like, Rogue Toad, or... Why not?
I was getting there. So I was saying, unless you're doing something silly like 3 2s, you're going to do probably Quicksilver and somebody else.
Oh, I understand.
And so I would probably do Quicksilver Gambit or Quicksilver Gambit Juggernaut Magneto is probably what I would do at 17.
Okay.
What is your thought? You could do Magneto instead of Gambit if you like Gambit more, or if you like Magneto or Mystique more.
No, I was just wondering what you were excited about. It just seemed kind of...
I'm excited to play 20 points.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you are. It's got all the juice.
Yeah. Give me the juice!
And see, I think Magneto, Juggernaut, Rogue, Toad would be just annoying as shit. Like
Rogue Toad would be a really solid attrition package for 6 as well.
Yeah. I mean, because Rogue...
I feel like Toad has gone Rogue.
Yeah. I feel like... Rogue is going to be... I feel like she's going to be actually the workhorse for that 4-point slot in X-Men and Brotherhood. I feel like she's going to be just... And I don't think she'll ever be anything like incredibly flashy, but she'll be super consistent with like all the throws she has, like the low-cost ability she has, the myriad of stuff she does. Like, she's going to stick on the board for longer than she should. Like, I think she's going to be a super strong character.
I'm going to try and remember to bring my top loaders tomorrow. Remind me when you're at the store. I don't tell you.
Yeah, I want some. I might just get all of them.
I think John wants some, so I don't care if you get them all.
If you want to split them between John and I, I'll do that. That's fine. I also think Rogue, Honey Badger, X-23. Actually, I think the X-Men as a faction are going to get much stronger. If there's just Is it just me?
Well, I mean, obviously, objectively, they're stronger on Friday than they were before.
Right, but what I mean is, what I don't like is, because they put Rogue, Gambit, and Colossus in Brotherhood, I think if you really want to play mutants, you either play X-Force or Brotherhood. I still think Uncanny X-Men is just worse than both of those factions.
We finally know what has been true since the beginning of time. Brotherhood is obviously better than X-Men.
Yeah, which is really weird. Maybe you can do some cheeky stuff with like Rogue and Storm's ability, like being able to charge and then flip people over Rogue. Like, I feel like there's magic and teleport and flip people with Storms. Like, there's going to be things you can do with magic and Rogue in that faction. But again, you don't need to be playing Uncanny X-Men, really. There's still nothing about the Uncanny X-Men except Storm's leadership.
There's something I want to say here, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
So that was one of the things I was saying is until you brought up the Dark Past Tactics card, I was going to make a point, and then I didn't. But now I'm going to make the point. I was never actually planning on playing Gambit in Brotherhood. I was going to play Magic, because Journey Through Limbo, the Tactics card, seems like exactly what Magneto wants, is surprise Magneto somewhere else. And so if my Tactics card slots are involving Asteroid M, Journey Through Limbo, climbing gear, Magneto gets wherever the fuck he wants to get. and that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, she's just a really efficient 3-pointer.
Right. I will say that Journey Through Limbo is excellent, but anybody who's played Lockjaw can tell you that moving a model during another model's activation, and you have to wait for that activation to come back. Make sure you're not doing something too risky. Like I think throwing Magneto out really close to something could be really just deadly.
Sure, but we're talking about Magneto, not like Crystal.
Right. But even then, I've seen Magneto get punked like a bitch many times. Dice don't necessarily save you every time. But...
No, I get that, but I'm just saying, like, you wait for obviously, yeah, I know to wait for people to already activate and stuff.
Right.
But you don't have to use it offensively. You can use it defensively. It's like, oh, hey, Magneto went first, killed these 3 people, and then they go set up some big move, and then you're like, just kidding, Journey Through Limbo, Magneto's back here. Because, it gives you Incinerates. You have to be careful with it. You can't just be all willy-nilly. But you could also do fucking crazy shit with this.
Yeah. You can also play. You can also obviously pull opponents, right? Like, the Magneto would love to take a really expensive model and have it dropped right in front of him, right? That's what he would. He would love that. So there's with Incinerate on them. Like,
you do it in reverse, where you send their character through Limbo that's already activated and just park him next to Magneto, and you're like, oops, that guy's going away.
Also, after you do that, she can still do attacks on them. So if it teleports them, range 3, and they're still within range 2 of her, she'll just soul sword them also. While it's not even that this ends her ability to hurt them. Like, it's a very efficient card. It's really
perfect example. Like, let's say you're engaged in combat in the middle. Magneto, let's say, dazes Hulk, and your opponent moves somebody in position to field dressing Hulk. You're like, oh, okay. Well, since you've done that, I'll Journey Through Limbo and get Magneto out of there. Go ahead and field dressing, and you're like, oh, nah, I don't want to. Anyway, we've probably beaten this to death by now. We can go ahead and move past this, unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about.
Oh no,
I'm very excited. All the new mutant stuff is going to be super fun to play to theory craft with for a long time.
It's nice when they do a model dump like this. Just kind of like, it shakes up the meta like really hard and really fast.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
It was kind of like Convocation, but the Convocation stuff was so weird that it's kind of like in its own space. Like, second wave of mutants, which is what this is, it's like they work in all 3 mutant factions, right? Because we got X-Force, X-Men, and Brotherhood. All 3 of those mutant factions love most of the models released. Plus, there's stuff outside of the mutant pool that likes some of these models. And they're like packages, like large packages that can move between those 3 affiliations very easily and all work together really well.
And just oodles of character tactics cards that are really strong.
Yes.
Like like 8 or 9, maybe. No, more like 6.
And talking about a faction like X-Men, who's been desperately trying to get a tactics card that's good.
Yeah.
Like, that's all they want is a tactics card. They just got like 8 that are playable.
Right.
So big times for X-Men.
Yeah. I think also the first person who puts Juggernaut in Criminals is going to
that
make
son of a bitch.
It's going to make someone cry. It's like somebody on the other side of the table is just going to be like, it's just going to be so sad.
He is a 5-pointer, and MODOK is also a 5-pointer. So like this is mostly hyperbole, but like I just want to see it happen. It sounds so annoying.
I actually think that 4 or 5 points. I don't know how you spend better 5 points for Criminals. If you're not trying to win by attrition and you're just shelling out for, I'm going to sit on this scenario point and you'll never ever ever win the scenario point, I don't know how you do better than Juggernaut. He seems perfect for it.
Yeah.
But
Juggernaut's gonna be so fun. I cannot this seems like a kit that's better on the table than it reads on the card. And I can't imagine it not being fun, just what's written on the card. Like, it looks like it's not just going to be good, but it's going to be very entertaining, and that's what I want.
Oh, and his tactics card, right? Like, just throw a model
Which
long.
one?
Yeah. I just love throw anything long. Do it now. It's like, I love it. Way over there.
Juggernaut is 56. Because there's 2. There's that one, and then there's Making a Ruckus. Which is when another allied character within 3 of the allied Juggernaut is targeted by an attack, spend 3. After the attack resolved, Juggernaut advances short towards the target and makes a strike attacks targeting it.
Right.
which is it's okay, but I'm pretty sure his strike has a push, right? I clicked Toad, not Juggernaut.
Yes, it does. A wild
An
push.
Idiot.
It's a wild push.
So not terrible.
No.
And that's a non-Brotherhood card, right? So you can play that in Criminals, which that's good in Criminals because it'll always be relevant. Yeah. And Versatile Strategy is going to become semi-relevant in Criminals soon, I think.
Yeah.
Because, God, how crushing would that be if you have to play assuming every turn Kingpin could take over?
Yeah.
How annoying would that be?
Uh-huh.
It's like, well, is this going to be the turn that all of his characters count as 2? So you have to play for it, and then he doesn't because you played for it. You're
what an amazing card in that faction now, because you're just like this card says at any point in the game all my guys count as 2, and you're like, wait, what? That's not a card.
Excuse me, wait. This is just for the turn. No, it's forever.
It's forever. What? It's now what is. Also, if we're playing a certain scenario, I can move things across things, not just with the ninja.
So what you're saying is all criminal players are already going to own Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Due to a random happenstance that has nothing to do with Juggernaut being good in Criminals. I like it. All right, let's move on. We've spent a lot of time on this.
I like it.
Jeremy,
I wanted it.
Did you have a new list you wanted to talk about? Have you built anything new?
Is that what we're on? Good lord.
We're on currently playing.
Holy shit. No, not really. I still have my Dormammu Web Warrior thing going on. It's fun.
Parker,
and I'm not changing it.
Do you have anything new?
I last podcast we talked about my builder's block. I just wasn't excited to build anything in the game. I felt like from just staring at text, I'd figured it out. I'd got to the edge of the world. But somehow,
and then Will Pagani came down the chimney with his Santa hat on.
Yeah.
It's like surprise mutants, and you're like,
yay! So I did before the mutants are coming out. I did build an Avengers list, which is like every Avengers list. Just trying to do all 3 of the elite leaders when I want. A Spider Foes list with a bunch of traps and fun stuff, and what was the last one? Oh no, I'm just blanking on it. Oh no. I can pull up my stuff. But the ones I'm excited about is the Spider Foes and the Avengers one. I think it'll be fun. So I'm going to try to play those once, but I can guarantee it as soon as Mutants come out tomorrow night when I actually pick them up, I'm going to be building a lot of my first, even though I know I love X-Force, I think my first task will be regular X-Men because I've never actually put regular X-Men on the board, and so I'll be excited to do that.
Cool. I didn't listen to anything you said, but we're going to move on. Next up is hobby projects.
What else is new?
I put all of my stuff together.
Yay!
That isn't a building. So I just need to put magnets on the base so they're ready for my Magna Rack. But honestly, I don't think these are going to fit on my fucking tray. I'm going to start making some business decisions on what I bring to the game store. So yeah, that'll be fun. Anyway, so I assume you guys haven't done much because you guys were probably already fully built.
Yeah.
I've just been super behind. I've been so busy.
Yep.
Jeremy put Dormammu together already. Jeez.
I know. I jumped way ahead.
So, our main topic today is going to be a little bit different than probably what we normally do, but what we're going to talk about is basically how spoiled we are, I think. And so that's kind of the way Jeremy put it in before we started recording, is when we stop and think about it, like we used to talk about, there was a lot of issues, well not a lot, there were several issues in the game that we kind of just put up with for a long time. And not that it's like all of them went away, but the last like dynamic update really fixed a lot of the big problems. And finally, now that Asgard's been put in their place by having all their fucking shit taken away. But really what we're looking at is the 2 obvious outliers in the game right now. And honestly, I would like to increase this to 3. I'll see if you guys will let me do that. So I'm going to say we got three problems, but Bucky ain't one. So our first problem, I've talked about this many times. I know that the other guys on the cast have talked about it several times. We got the big balance update, and everyone that could just take stuff from people got fixed to say it costs an action. But Black Cat was so new, she didn't get touched. And we said at the time that was a mistake. And survey shows, yep, still a mistake. That should have been adjusted. So what do you guys think? Black Cat, fair, not fair?
Oh, Black Cat is very unfair. Her rule set alone is really strong for a 3-point model. Just take the fact that she can steal some shit from you for nothing, basically, off her card, and she's still worth her 3 points.
Yeah. Delete burglary entirely, and she's still a 3-point
She's
model.
stagger on a stick, for
She's
Christ's
better
sake.
than most 3-point models, I would argue.
She has stagger. She just fucking staggers you.
She has auto stagger for a reasonable amount of power.
Right.
If she was just like speed long auto stagger, you'd be like, that's a solid 3-pointer.
Yeah.
We'd be talking about if she was worth making rosters. Like,
and she has 2 amazing defensive abilities: stealth and you can't crit. No, you can't crit. You can't modify, right? You can't modify. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Not you can't crit. Or is it can't crit? It's one or the other.
You cannot modify dice when attacking her.
Yeah, modify.
No mods.
She's got bad luck.
Yeah, you can't modify, and she has permanent stealth, and she has a place. Like, what?
If she had like 4 hit points instead of 5, maybe I could see it. But like, there's no negative. She has no deficit. She's straight advantaged at every single thing she does. Because you look at her fucking cat claws attack, and you're like, oh, it's only 4 dice. It has fucking Pierce. Pierce is like the best ability on an attack that isn't what's that one ability where like you just like auto kill people? I can't remember. Anyway, like Cat Claws is just fucking crazy. Oh, it's the one where they don't get crits.
Yeah, they don't get crits.
The Cruel Twist ability.
Yeah, the crits don't count. Yeah.
Crits are annihilated. Yeah, that's the best ability. But Cat Claws is fucking crazy because it's like 4 dice with Pierce is better than a 5-die attack. And so she's above average on attrition there. Troublemaker, 2 cost 6-die attack for a 3-pointer. That's range 3. Very good. Has evasive. Good. So this is already above average. Oh, wait, we just added on auto stagger any character. No big deal. Grappling hook is good on most characters. It's amazing on a character that steals objectives. Master Cat Burglar is dumb. Should cost at least an action, probably more power as well, because she's a speed long. Bad luck is amazing. Stealth is good. Like, this is crazy. Because it's not just that any of these abilities outside of Burglar are broken, but they're exactly the power she wants. Like, she doesn't want to kill people necessarily, but she can because, she's just good at stuff. And then it's like, well, what would you want to have for a model that could steal objectives from people? Speed long, stealth, no mods on your attacks. Like, what the fuck? Like, how did they put all 3 of these on one card and it's only 3 points?
It's like we've said it many times. Like we wanted to make a character that felt like a master thief, so we made the master thief in a game where sometimes there's only one thing on the board that you care about, and master thieves would just win by themselves. This has happened to me in a game where my X-Force wiped out an A-Force, and then Black Cat by herself stole the only thing that mattered and won. That was it.
I think that some of the really egregious Black Cat games are because people don't understand what's happening until it's already happened.
Yeah.
And so don't realize that they have to kill her before... Like, you cannot let her steal it healthy. Like, it cannot happen. Because if she steals it healthy, she's going to wake up from injured and steal it again. And there's just nothing you can do about it.
So this is actually something I wanted to ask you guys about. This is something I wanted to ask you guys about. This is the thing I wanted to add to the conversation, which is Black Cat has another ability that's not printed on her card. My favorite thing is finding things that aren't printed on cards that actually do exist, which is she functionally has Taunt. You must kill Black Cat. If you have a model in range of Black Cat, they're all obsessed with her, basically, like Green Goblin is for Spider-Man. You have to attack Black Cat. If you don't attack Black Cat, you're setting yourself up for a turn 3 auto loss because she's coming and she's stealing and she's gone. So,
depending on the matchup, I definitely agree with what you're saying. But depending on the matchup, I think it's kind of the opposite, because if they don't have any way to give her power, you're kind of using the fact that she can't gain power easily against her. And so if you attack her, you're actually just making it easier. But yes, I understand what you're saying. If you get the opportunity to kill her, you're going fucking full empty the clip mode. Like, you have to kill her.
Sure.
And so, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying, like, don't take that to mean you should auto-attack Black Cat if able. No. Sometimes it's a bad idea.
Yes, as a point of
advice. Giving your power, you could make it worse.
Right. You do not want to shoot. You don't want to have like, oh, if I moved once, I could do 1 5-die attack against her. No, don't do that. It's if I'm standing here next to her and I have a chance to do a basic and a spender, like that's when you do it. And the I guess the point I'm trying to make is, there are 3-pointers in the game where I don't do that, right? I don't automatically attack that guy. Yeah. Because, like you said, it could give them power. It could, like lose priority. Like, there are all kinds of different things that could happen to me that are seriously bad. But Black Cat, she's so dangerous if she's still healthy later in the game. And even if she is unhealthy, she's still dangerous. You feel, and I think it's real, that you must get her. So she functionally has kind of like a taunt. So I guess what I'm saying about that is that make her okay because you can just focus her, or does that make her just so much worse because it means that you have to devote usually more than 3 points to make sure you get her?
Oh, you have to devote so much to make sure she dies.
Right.
The no dice mods is a big part of that because like, how many models in the game can you not mod your dice against? 4, I think.
Who else besides Black Cat?
Angela.
Venom.
Venom's on offense.
The other way.
It's not defense,
other way.
Yeah, so it's Angela. Who else? Medusa.
It's the other Medusa, the other ribbons chick.
Yeah.
There might be one more. I know Domino's, your crits don't explode, which isn't the same thing, but it's similar. It might just be 3.
Yeah.
And so we're looking at a 4-point melee model, that can't steal objectives, a 5-point mobile model that is basically still melee, can't steal objectives, and then a 3-point steal objective model. Like who thought this was okay? Like, who thought this model at 3 points was fine?
I guess
my only thought at the time was their goal was to make it a readily available model for every affiliation to include that could steal objectives. And then made this model. And it's like, but all it turns into is everyone has to play this model, and it just becomes the Black Cat game. In any time you have a single extract mission, which is basically half the extracts, this model is the most important model in every game that exists.
Oh, that's actually one of the things I want to mention is, when it comes to extracts, the one time when I feel okay is when it's like Senator, right? Where she can only move short, because if I flipped her over and she comes and spends power to get the Senator, like, she's dead because she's moving short. She's
Possibly,
-1 defense dice. She's likely dead.
The problem with Senators is that it's likely on one of the flanks, and so if she picks up one of the flank ones, depending on terrain, because she has a place effect, it can get awkward.
Mm-hmm.
Where she's like, oh, I'll climb twice and place behind this building, and you're like, oh no, like, now I gotta double move just to get up to the building, and then she basically is gonna triple short, and then I have to go get her again. It's like, oh god, like, now what's happening? Like, it just gets kind of, it can get bad because Senators means that it's in a specific location. Mm-hmm. You have to actually defend the entire board. Mm-hmm. As where the ones where you roll dice, you can just roll a lot of dice on one point and make it very likely that's where it's going to be. And so that, because that, you can put a lot of your defense in that location.
I suppose I'm just saying that when she's not able to move long, because
the making her move short is a big deal.
Because
marked for death is another way to kind of limit that.
And that's actually, it's funny. That's the other thing I was going to say is, not only does she have taunt, but right now you see mark for death so much, and you're like, well, why do you have mark for death in your tactics cards? Black Cat. There's only one reason to have mark for death, and it's Black Cat.
Like, if somebody asked somebody at a tournament, why are you running mark for death? I would literally laugh out loud in their face.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, are you an idiot? Like, do you not know how to play this game? Black Cat exists.
If you hear somebody say that, then I will show you somebody who's about to lose the Black Cat.
Yeah. And it was at that moment he knew he fucked up.
To be fair, I play that card for Black Panther as well, but
Black Panther?
He can't reroll his dice.
He doesn't reroll his dice. His defense dice?
Mm-hmm.
Only if they're playing Wakandan.
Yeah.
I guess I don't see anyone play Wakanda anymore.
Yeah, you don't, but he is a motherfucker to try and kill without that card.
Don't get me. Yeah, I get that. Okay, so moving on. We're not leaving Black Cat alone. We're just going to move on to the next character. I think everybody knows who we're going to say next. Dr. Voodoo.
I threw up in my mouth a little.
What the fuck? Yeah, he threw up in his mouth. What the fuck, Dr. Voodoo? So mainly we're talking about possession here, right? The rest of his kit is okay, probably still good even without possession.
Yeah, it's better than okay. He has 3-inch.
He's still a solid 4-pointer without possession on the table.
Yeah.
The fact that nothing in the game interacts with the possession of the Brother Daniel token is kind of annoying. So the rules as written on his card means that he is a S tier character, right? Like he is in conversation for best model in the game, just the words on his card. The problem we've run into is that for some reason, the people on the fucking rules forums that make decisions have decided that he needs to be fucking Magic Jesus and fix everything about the game for no apparent reason. So if you're not familiar, the rules that have been ruled on this fucking character make no fucking sense. They're directly against rules as written, and they make him fucking crazy broken. So the main one, while dazed, his possession rule still works, even though it's a superpower. Which makes no sense because in the fucking main rule book, it says when a character is dazed, they have no superpowers. Meaning that the text explaining how possession works does not exist. Yet, you need to reference it to understand how it works at all times. Which is stupid. It makes no sense. It should not work that way. Whoever ruled that is a dumbass. I don't care if it was one of the devs. That is fucking stupid. It makes no logical sense. The person, whoever made the decision just said, we want it to be as broken as possible. So even when he's dazed, you still cannot score. The second ruling that's happened with his Brother Daniel token is that if a character has the Brother Daniel token and would gain an objective, what happens? The rule is that they have gone with is the effect that gained them the token is nullified and never happened. So if Black Cat has Brother Daniel on her and burglars somebody with an objective token, you spend 3 power and nothing happens. They don't drop the token. You just never used your power, but spent 3 power for it, which is fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The logical thing to me, because in my understanding, every other instance of this ever happening in the game, which is having too many tokens, you immediately drop the token, which is what it says in the rulebook, I believe. If at any time you have too many tokens, you immediately drop it. And you cannot intentionally interact with the token to gain it if you would have too many. But you're not interacting with a token, you're using a superpower printed on your card, which is not, unactivatable because of Brother Daniel. It just does nothing, which is illogical, but whatever. This is silly. He definitely should regain the Brother Daniel token if he's dazed. That should just be added to his card. I'm hoping that they're just planning on doing that in a future errata, and it just is. But the fact that errata came out because of the Captain Sam leadership, that obviously means they weren't waiting to do it for something, so they weren't planning on doing it. This guy's stupid. Do you guys have anything to say? I'm still ranting.
I was going to say, I actually wanted to know, because I have had the express privilege of never playing against this model yet.
Yeah.
And I think it's because we talked about it before at our local game store. When we find models that we just all agree are completely outside the norm,
severe outliers.
Yeah, we just go, well, let's not create negative play experiences for our friends, and let's just leave this one at home. But I know Jeremy has had to play against this fellow many times, so I wanted to know how wide exactly does your butthole feel after he comes and reams it?
About this wide.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the part that people don't realize happens. Is it turns into about turn 4 when things matter, when every point matters, and you're kind of seeing how the game is going to fall. So it's turn 4. You've got some characters on their backside. You're kind of on the edge of getting ready to take it or not take it. And then suddenly your character who is sitting on a point contesting or taking the point and also holding an objective. So he's usually worth 2. All it takes is him to spend the power, drop the token, and you're down 2 points. Your opponent is then up 1 point because they grab it.
It's actually usually a 3-point swing, I just want to point out, because he's obviously going to pick up the token.
That's what I'm saying right now. Yeah. They pick it up. So that's a 3-point swing. Not to mention, they can also just move on to the objective that you're standing on. Yeah. You no longer exist because of this fucking token. So it's even a 4-point swing if that's what happens.
So it's horrible. You are so correct here. I want to paint an even more clear picture for people, because as we talked about just a moment ago, a lot of the extracts actually getting played are the 2-point single extracts. So let me paint the picture. You're late game, Doc Voodoo is injured, you use the character that injured him, who is the last healthy character you have, pick up the 2-point extract, move to the secure point. You score 3, right? Man, that was such a hero move. Next turn, Doc Voodoo wakes up, targets you with possession, you drop the token, no longer contests the point, he moves over, picks up the point, and then is scoring the point while injured because your healthy character doesn't count.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And so that's a 6-point swing in scenario. Because it's 3 points you would be getting that don't happen, and he gets 3, and he took 0 actions to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my god.
And because
it's so
late,
stupid.
It's late game, you do not have the models to deal with this.
Yeah, you don't have anything to do with it, yeah.
You cannot create space or take away space. Your models are also on the board elsewhere doing things.
Yeah, it's so stupid. There's other silly things you can do, like, for example, based on the fact that someone's going to have the Brother Daniel token for most of the game, you'll have times you just can't pick up objectives, like Wolverine. Hey, healthy Wolverine, you have Brother Daniel now, so he can't pick up extracts. Your 4-point character that does a lot of your killing can't pick up extracts, so when he kills people, they drop their token on the ground, and he just looks at it like a dumbass, and then you pass turn. It's like, okay, well, Wolverine's activated now. So who's going to go next? The only other character on this side of the board. Hey, you can't pick up objectives either. And so they just sit on the ground, and his character's going to come in and pick them up after all your people have gone. It's so dumb. Not to mention, if you actually, do injure this guy, not only does the token stick around and fuck you, but he gets all this extra power, he flips over next turn, he can just machine gun possession people, and have multiple people drop tokens out of nowhere. Like, if Doc Voodoo goes last, gets field dressing after getting dazed, goes last for the turn, it's just like, possession, 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 all you guys drop your tokens, and the last guy on the point isn't contesting anymore. It's like, go fuck yourself. It's so stupid. It should not work like this.
Mm-mm.
It's the single best ability in the entire game. Not close.
Also, what the other weird thing is, you're like, okay, but in order to use Brother Daniel, they put on the card that his already weak defenses can get lower. No, it doesn't, because for 2 power or 1 power in Avengers, which he's a member of for some fucking reason, he can just recall the spirit. He can just yo-yo it back. So if you're ever really excited to fight Brother Daniel, he's actually going to buff his defense dice. Not that defense dice are always going to save him, but the point is he doesn't ever actually lose anything. You have to.
Well, it's even dumb than that, because we looking at his defense stats. He's a 4/4/6 if he has the token.
Right.
But he doesn't. He's a 2/2/4. But if you're playing Convocation, he's just a 4/4/4. So who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Oh my god! And in case you were wondering, he also has 2 amazing attacks.
His attacks are phenomenal.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh, and he has a throw. Just in case he needed to also be able to fucking throw characters.
Yes.
For 3 power.
He can throw characters.
Oh my God.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
When I read that the first time, I was like, he could throw or enemy characters. Fuck off. I was like, really?
Yeah. I was like, surely he won't be able to throw characters. He'll only be trained. Nope, he can throw people. Oh my god.
So, yeah. It's
definitely absolutely ignorant. Oh, and also whenever he rolls a skull, rolls dice. Yeah, rolls dice. If he rolls a skull, he gets power. So he also has extra power generation. In addition to everything printed on his card has fucking sat power.
Oh, he's also immune to the two of the most common and best abilities, Hex and Incinerate.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and he has Flight just in case too.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Jeremy, we interrupted you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, we know this company at this point. we saw the Las Vegas Open crack this sucker right out the box, going, guess who's number one? So it's definitely, it has a giant red flag on it saying, fix me. I trust that they will, and this is what happens when you try and create a new space. I mean, God knows what's going to happen. They're like, we want to create something interesting and different and fun.
Yeah.
They'll fix it, and I'm sure they've learned. Like, they're going to tweak this a little bit. I'm sure it'll be just fine. But right now, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
like,
it's oppressive.
It's bad. It's real bad.
So is this the biggest miss since MODOK? Is there anything that's come out after MODOK that's been more unbalanced than him? Maybe Enchantress? I think he's worse than Enchantress, personally. Because Enchantress had counterplay. Like, she could be killed pretty easily, actually. And I do want to say the one good thing about Doc Voodoo is he can get diced. Like, he doesn't have any hard defense. It's just numbers.
Right.
And so it's like, at best, he's rolling 6 defense dice, which when I say it out loud sounds fucking dumb. But if you look at it, it's like, yeah, if he blanks out, you could kill him. He's only got 6 health. Like, he's killable.
Right.
It's not like MODOK, who is unkillable. Like, right? Like, if you're playing as kill MODOK, you've lost the game.
So Enchantress, the only reason Enchantress got bananas is because of All You Got, right? And if All You Got was still in effect and All You Got you were able to play with Doc Voodoo, then that's its own monster. So
I don't know though, because he doesn't really have the same kit that she had.
You could machine gun off everybody's tokens and just continuously keep going through them and make sure everybody's dropped everything.
But him gaining more activations, like more actions just to do Spirit Venom, I guess.
I mean, it's not as good as doing 4 laser beams. The problem was she had a sat power gainer beam attack. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And so the problem was she was actually netting power on it. I think he's not netting power necessarily on it All You've Got. But I see where your head's at.
I think Enchantress was definitely more egregious. And when Enchantress popped off her turn with full go juice with the All You Got, that's probably the most oppressive thing that's ever happened in the history of this game. However, in the environment we have now, and if you have a player who's only played a handful of games and has no idea what's about to happen, they'll probably never play again. Once you do Doc Voodoo to a new player, they're not going to play again. This game seems stupid as fuck.
MODOK felt the same way, I think. Like, if you're doing like a Cosmic Invigoration MODOK, like they just didn't play the game.
Sure.
Like, I've deleted your army, go have a good time.
But at least MODOK makes sense in the fact that like he's got a big gun and he's going to shoot you a shitload and then throw shit at you. Doc Voodoo breaks all the rules of the game. You're like, is this even possible?
Yeah, he does it in a way that's just not fun. Like you're just like, okay, so nothing I did mattered. My guys are still alive, they just don't count. You're like, okay. So my decisions are irrelevant. It's like playing against Web Warriors in a single character. It's so stupid. But at least Web Warriors, you get to see them make your characters not matter.
True.
You're like, oh, my character's off the point. You could, in theory, do counterplay. Like, you could take models, you could, like, surround them with stuff so they weren't easy to move. Like, there's some counterplay. Also, it's not easy. Yeah. And it's not very effective. But
also
Voodoo is like,
yeah, also,
I declare I spend 3 power. Your character is null and void. You're like, fuck.
All he can do is punch things.
Also, the character, the other thing about Voodoo that, unlike Web Warriors, is Web Warriors is just moving you around. Miles, can knock your thing off, but he has to get really close to do it. But so, like, against Web Warriors, you can still get some points just by holding on to him as your person, right?
I play Avengers Assemble at the end of my turn, so I put all my shit back on points. Like, there you go.
Right.
Possession's like, nope, there's no counterplay.
Yeah.
There's no counter. There's no undoing it. Oh. I said a word and paid 3 power. Go fuck yourself.
Also, my God. Also, by the way, while I'm possessing you, you don't do anything. Like you said, you're not just losing 1 point. You're losing potentially like 4. Like, if you're holding a point that gives you 2, and you have a senator on you, like you just lost 4 victory points.
The highest is, I believe, 5. Because you could do the back point on Gamma Wave and a 2-point extract. You could lose 5 points because of a possession.
Right.
Would it have been okay if it was a tactics card?
For 1 turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, for 1 turn, I think it would have been okay.
Yeah, it's a tactics card. 1 turn.
Pay power. So my fix is you spend power equal to double the character's cost, and it doesn't work while he's dazed, and probably another change, I think, gets him back to reasonable.
Yeah.
And the other change is probably he can't throw enemy characters or something. I don't know. he'd be within the realms of the game if his possession didn't work while he was dazed, so you had counterplay, and he had to spend double the character's point cost in power. I think it'd be okay. If he's spending 6 power to target Black Cat, I think that's fair. That's how stupid this ability is. Because currently the counterplay is destroy your opponent's entire army before they score 16 points. That's the counterplay. Yeah, it's like, go fuck yourself. It's so stupid.
I don't know. I threat level +1 and then change it to where when he's dazed, it pops loose. I'm okay with that even. Like, it's not okay that it's just stuck forever.
I'm not okay with him existing as is, even while dazed. Like, that's too good. As a 5-point character, he's the best 5-point character at that point?
He's a 4-point character.
No.
Yeah, but if you made him +1 threat...
No, he's saying possession +1. Possession costs X +1.
Oh, so you're saying you only pay power +1? No, I'm saying make him a 5-point character.
Oh.
And it doesn't work while he's dazed. He's still too good at 5 points.
At 5 points, if it was... Yeah, that's still too good. No, his effect is worth any point. Like, his effect doesn't matter. You can't put that on any model.
You'd probably not pay 6, but it'd be a question.
Yeah, I mean...
Because at 6 points, you're losing a character to keep him on
At 6 points, you take Black Cat and another 3 point. Like, and it's still fucked up.
Yeah, so at a 14-point game, and you do Doc Voodoo, you're still bringing 3 other characters. Oh my god.
In the Doc Voodoo faction.
this guy, possession is completely busted. Honestly, at this point, I think they should just rework it from the ground up and have it do something else. Like, give it, like, -2 offense and defense on the person you put it on, and then clarify it doesn't work while he's dazed. Because all they need to do is when go down here to Spirit of Brother Daniel, and just add in when this character is dazed or removed from the game, return the token to him. Also, do you know there's one character in the game immune to the Brother Daniel token?
I have no idea.
It's Doc Voodoo. Because it says on his card, this character can only have the Brother Daniel token he starts the game with. So he can't be possessed.
Oh my god.
So, guess who's in every list? As defense now. Just like we talked about earlier, when the answer is play it also, the thing is completely broken. Yeah. So anyway, Doc Voodoo is completely busted. The final character that we're going to talk about, which I'm going to bring up that nobody else talked about, nobody else knows I'm going to say this, is obviously Shuri. Shuri is still too good. Her ability needs to be on damage or on wild. It can't be automatic. She can't push automatically. And if she's going to push automatically, get rid of the rerolls. Like, it can't be both.
Well, we just don't use her around here. That's the key.
Yeah.
Nobody uses her. It's just dumb. Yeah, she's just dumb. She fits in every list, obviously.
Can you imagine Web Warriors with Doc Voodoo and Shuri? Just think about that. Replace Venom with Doc Voodoo, and then just add in Shuri at 17.
Okay.
Do you want to play against that? Nobody wants to play against that. Sadomasochists don't want to play against that. Like, there is no human being that wants to play against that.
Move you, and also disable you.
Move you. You don't count because I can't move you, and also move you.
Do you know how annoying it would be if Thanos had a fucking counter on him and he couldn't pick up stuff and hold objectives? Just kill yourself. Like,
you've lost the game.
You've lost the game.
It just says, you give the Brother Daniel token. You're like, what does this token do? Your opponent says, it means you've lost the game. Yeah. He's like, yes. And you look over at your buddy, is like, is that what it does? He's like, yeah, that's what it does.
Yeah. Anybody, yeah. He loves to see things like Thanos or Dormammu, any of those giant characters. He's just like, no, you don't count.
Yeah.
Yeah, any character that's over 5 points, even a 5-point leader, not being able to to do things is so busted.
Well, the problem is Voodoo. One of the reasons Voodoo has skyrocketed to the biggest problem, he's the Mount Rushmore of get fucked, is like your opponent has Black Cat, and the problem we were running into is it's the Black Cat game. Guess who fixes that? Doc Voodoo. He spends 3 power. Black Cat doesn't exist. You might as well take her off the table. It's so fucking dumb. You're like, oh, okay, I staggered Doc Voodoo. It's like, I don't care. Doc Voodoo doesn't need actions. Like, you could stagger Doc Voodoo every turn of the game. I wouldn't even give a fuck. Like, that's so dumb. There is no counterplay. There's nothing you can do. It's just broken.
The only thing you can do is try to 2-round him. You can try to do that.
You know what would be good, honestly, if they were to put it so just add something at the end of that stupid-ass token that says that you can spit it out for paying the cost that you paid to put it on you. I mean, Why
Jake
not?
said it should just be a status effect, and it should be shakeable. And even with it being shakeable, I think it might be too strong. But
because you've already lost your token. Yeah.
Yeah, because you've lost token. If you've already activated, you're fucked. But at least then, it's a question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
this
I could
might be okay. Yeah.
Yeah, make it a status effect. Yeah.
But you'd have to do it. Obviously, possession needs to be once per turn. The fact that it's not is insane. So
it's your cost an action.
Once per turn, cost an action, and be shakeable. I think it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, haven't they learned their lesson yet? Like, make things that are wild and crazy a goddamn action.
Yeah. It's almost like anything that fucks with scenario points should be costly as fuck.
Almost.
Oh, wait, we just errated all the cards to say that, except for these two.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things one of the reasons why I wanted to do this topic today or this podcast is I feel like if you are not playing attrition, then your army has 7 points, minus 7 points. 17 is actually 10, 18 is actually 11 because you're putting Doc Voodoo and Blackhead in there first. Oh, which by the way, you'll probably have at least one affiliated model there because they both have 3 affiliations. So you don't even have to usually, unless you're playing criminals. No, sorry, they are criminals works. What?
Who's Voodoo's third?
Midnight Suns.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So they both have 3 affiliations. So if you're playing a scenario, unless you're playing one of the factions that doesn't have one of the 6 factions, they don't have an affiliation for.
Black Cat has 4, by the way.
Oh, that's right. She has 4. Jesus, I forgot.
Only character in the game with 4.
Yeah. So
that's why I assumed she was supposed to be basically a free mercenary.
Right.
That everyone was supposed to play, but it's not fun. Like it ruins the game.
Right. So there's 7 different affiliations that will not really be penalized very much by taking these 2 as a package to play scenario. And so if you for those factions that you really want to do that doesn't have one of them, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but if you do, then you have to get a 3 character roster. Guardians, there you go. If you really, really want to play some sort of weird scenario, Guardians list. But a faction like Web Warrior, Black Cat's a Web Warrior. So like all of them are either affiliated or can easily accomplish it. So if you're playing scenario, you're paying 7 points down right now. If you're trying to win, like balls to the walls, I gotta win my local game night or whatever, or gonna win my tournament. And so there you go. Like that's basically what I wanted to ask you guys to get confirmed, and I think we just confirmed it. That's
yeah. I think in a vacuum now, like we've talked about for a long time, that I thought that Web Warriors was the best affiliation, and obviously they've come down a peg with other scenario focused affiliations being more mainstream and getting more releases now, like Criminals. But if you just add Black Cat and Doc Voodoo to Web Warriors, like I don't know what the fuck you're supposed to do. Like, what beats that? Like, what reliably beats that? Because I know, like the guy who won LVO was doing Black Order and Web Warriors, and I think it was a pretty well split force. And we joked about that originally as well. If you ran Thanos and Web Warriors, and I don't think we ever really tried it, but clearly he was running like Black Order and then Web Warriors, I think, was the plan. But if you're just putting Doc Voodoo in, and Black Cat's obviously already a Web Warrior, like, oh my god, I don't want to play against that. Like, it's so much better than everything else at Scenario. You have to table them by turn 3, or else, like, you're going to lose.
I was going to say, it would be, like, a really specific counter, like, maybe Spider Foes, because you're going to get some bonuses. Like, the Web Warrior part of your list would have a hard time. And maybe, because Dr. Voodoo is just his dice, and Spider Foes, does fuck with his dice, maybe they can just hit hard enough to 2-round him. But
I don't think so. I think they're so misplaced. I think all your models are too far away. They're going to be exactly where you want them. I don't think it comes close. And I think that because your models are so expensive, he takes care of whichever model's annoying. Like the model that you want to be carrying something or doing work, he just fucking throws a token on his ass. It's really rough.
Yeah. Aren't the Spider Foes actually weak to Mystic? I'm checking, but I guess they're okay.
No,
they're not great.
Because Mysterio's in there. He's really good about it.
Yeah, obviously Mysterio is, but that's why you said other
Green
people.
Goblin. Green Goblin, his backside is. On his front side, he's fine.
He's the 3. Yeah, they're not weak. They're just not strong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of all of them, I think Black Order is the one because they just fucking mothership in and murder his ass. Like they
but you got to get him twice.
I think they can get him twice reliably.
Mm-hmm.
While not losing everywhere else. Like, that's the problem. Like, they just put him on the back edge. Like, you literally will have to walk across the entire table because all I have to do is possess Thanos once and, like, the game's over until you kill him.
I think he's got maybe 2 turns to be alive and on the table. I think turn 2 he needs to be gone, and I think you can because
But the game changes then, though, because if he gets the token on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just gets possession on you, even if it costs him everything. Then they can just pull everyone away from him and field dress him as the last activation. I don't care if you kill him again next turn. Because I'm going last. I field dress him as the last activation. You're possessed. He's alive. Next turn, you just daze him. And so then he's going to die. And then I have another turn to try and get him away from you. And then you actually get him dead. He's costing you 2 turns of scoring at minimum.
I don't think you give them power to allow them to field dressing on turn 1. I don't think it's possible. If you simply move shit around...
You're not getting him on turn 1. You cannot get him on turn 1. I will put him on my board edge. You cannot get him.
Okay. If the opponent does that, then that's a game,
Yeah.
sure.
I'm talking about intelligent play, not random first games. Yeah.
Even so, to back him up and take him away from the game, then you're doing.
Well, I'm saying if we played this 100 times, is like the perspective I'm looking at.
Okay,
like, you're gonna learn how to not lose him early.
But that's the goal, right? And I
not
think
to mention
Corvus...
you have Lifesaver. Corvus is terrible against Lifesaver. He has no answer for it.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the other thing, which is,
but you're not Lifesavering first turn.
No. Well, you're not getting him first turn, so it doesn't matter.
And,
stop bringing up first turn. You're not even getting their first turn.
Yeah.
And here's like, what do you do? Mothership and strike twice? Get out of here.
Yeah. This is we just talked about how Black Cat has, kind of like pseudo taunt, right? Because she's so important to be on her, to be on her weaker side whenever she eventually is going to get her thing to go off. And if Dr. Voodoo is also on the board, now you have to be killing Dr. Voodoo and you have to be killing Black Cat by turn 3 or 4, because then in the late game, that's when they're going to make the scenario game completely tilt so hard against you. That's terrible. That's so terrible.
It is. It's terrible.
Yeah.
That's awful.
All right. Well, I think we made our point. I think obviously the fact that we have like over 110 models out in this game, and there's only 3 outliers, and one of them's already been addressed slightly. I think that's pretty good. I do think that the only reason that Black Cat and Voodoo exist in their current state is because the balance update happened so close to their releases, and so they didn't have time to affect the meta before the balance update happened. So I think with the recent like popularity of these models and the impacts they've been having on games, I think we'll probably likely see an update on them. I think these are the only models we would suggest an update on right now, but these are the ones that are dramatically impacting our games. It feels like if you're not playing these 3 models, you're just missing out, and you're fighting uphill against the people that are.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. You're like, if you see people playing this at your local game store, you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to be playing. Is that what you do? You just play Doc Voodoo also, or can you?
That's literally the best thing you can do, because Doc Voodoo is is amazing against Black Cat, because she can't burglary while she has the token, and he also can't be possessed because of stupid rules lawyering, and so he's the only model in the game that can't be possessed. Against the model with possession, it's the logical choice. Yep. Even though it's so dumb that it's the exact same model, that's the best defense, is playing it also. It's like MODOK. It's like, how do you beat MODOK? It's like, I don't know. Models that specifically beat MODOK is MODOK, so good luck. Right. So yeah. Any other closing thoughts, Jeremy?
Nope. That pretty much covers it.
All right.
Hashtag
Parker.
Hashtag Dr. Voodoo, what the fuck?
Yeah, get fucked, get balanced. Parker, why don't you go ahead and do a comic corner for us?
Okay. I do think, speaking of Comic Corner, which I'll get to the issue in a second, I do think it's worth mentioning that Doc Voodoo, in the comics, Brother Daniel is a huge Deus Ex Machina who sweeps in to save the Avengers all the time. It's just like, oh, look, there's some really, really, really strong demon thing. It's impossible to beat. Who's going to stop him? Well, I know this guy named Doc Voodoo. I bet he can just send his dead brother to go fix it, and he does, the end. Like, it happens constantly. Dr. Voodoo is just a walking Deus Ex Machina, or rather, his dead brother is. He's just the transmitter for Deus Ex. That's all it is. It's terrible, and I don't appreciate it when it happens in comics. But there it is. I will say that my comic corner today is actually not a primary Earth 616 universe, but it has a lot of the inspiration for some of the models coming out in the game. Some of them this week, and then also Nick Fury coming out. It's Ultimate X-Men. And not from the very beginning of the run, but actually specifically if you're buying it in like individual graphic novels, it'd be volume 2. But it's called Return to Weapon X is this mini series. So it introduces the Ultimates Universe version of Weapon X, which is run by William Stryker, and he is weaponizing mutants for the United States government. And the X-Men run into them because basically Stryker says, there's this team of mutants. Why do they get all this credit? I should just have them and make them part of Weapon X. So we don't meet Weapon X through Wolverine exactly like we do in the primary universe. Instead, Stryker goes after the X-Men, captures all of them, weaponizes all of them, and sends them out on missions. And then Wolverine ends up being the one who gets their fat out of the fryer because, of course, he was part of Weapon X before and escaped. We also, in Weapon X, we see Ultimate's version of Juggernaut and Rogue, who are both already captured by it. Sabretooth, who is working for them. And Nightcrawler, who is also being captured and tortured and forced into being it. Curiously, also in this miniseries, we get one of the only looks at Nick Fury in action. One of the things that Nick Fury in both the Ultimates universe and Earth 616 is you never really get to see him do anything. He's always just at the helicarrier smoking a cigar, like going like, "Do this, Captain America," and then he does. He's very rarely actually doing anything worth a shit. He just kind of stands around giving orders. But in the Ultimates universe, they wanted Nick Fury to be a super spy, and so in an X-Men comic, in this Return to Weapon X volume, we actually get to see him. He's investigating a superhuman terrorist organization. They're trying to build superhumans to be part of a terrorist cell, and he gets to do like super cool spy stuff. He flies in a suit. His shoes are like special anti-gravity parachutes. When he gets there, he has all these awesome spy gadgets to beat all the terrorists. He talks to S.H.I.E.L.D. like in his ear the whole time. And it wraps up with him finding the source of the parahumans that these guys are building. And then it goes white, right, as the terrorists catch wise that he's there and he's captured. And so he becomes entangled in this Weapon X story, and you actually find out that the reason why Nick Fury is who he is actually originally because of Wolverine, and they have a history together, and they use their shared history to unravel the goings-on of this new governmentally funded Weapon X program, which is, of course, constantly in competition with S.H.I.E.L.D. as the other superhuman governmentally endorsed faction. So it's a really cool take on really cool take on like the Weapon X story, but also you get to see like badass Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury being awesome spy guy, interacting with the X-Men, and the X-Men. Also, you find out a lot about like the Ultimates universe mutants, the kind of the extended universe mutants through the Weapon X story. It's also a really captivating, fun plot. It's X-Men meets spy, an espionage take. It's pretty fun. So if you've never read Ultimate X-Men, you can start from issue 1 if you wanted to. This is, it's just volume 2. But if you didn't want to and you just wanted to read a really cool story featuring a bunch of cool characters coming out in OCP, I recommend Ultimate X-Men Volume 2, Return to Weapon X. Also written by Mark Millar, who's only done everything cool. He's responsible for almost every part of the Ultimates universe, and he does a great job with this too.
Nice. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight, guys. Hopefully you guys had a good time. This has been Brandon.
And Dr. Mantis Toboggan MD.
And Jeremy. I had a great time. Fuck Voodoo.
Yeah. And this has been Fuck Voodoo.
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down infamous.
And just like that, episode 73 began.
Dun 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 dun.
Seemed like a normal evening.
I was sitting down at my computer on Discord with my two friends. We were recording a podcast like we did every Thursday night. And then all of a sudden, we started recording. Shia LaBeouf. Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
So I show my students that, and they don't get it, and I don't know how they don't get it. I don't know how. Every time I show them that, they're just like,
Did you say, "What are you guys, idiots?"
Yeah.
Like,
I've showed them pretty funny things, and they appreciate it. They go, "Oh, that's pretty funny." But for some reason, I've stopped showing my students it because I've got so disappointed by them not like they're laughing at me, belly laughing at it, but they don't get it. Like it doesn't make sense. It does not compute.
Well, they probably think that they're missing something because like young kids might not know Shia LaBeouf that well.
I guess
because the only thing they probably know him from is maybe Transformers, but I don't even think Transformers is that popular right now.
Yeah.
Excuse me if I cough a lot this episode. I have
COVID.
No, it's not COVID. It's what's it called? Coronavirus. No. You can't get it twice in a month, right?
It's supposed to be 90 days.
There's no rule. There's no rule.
Yeah, actually, there is no rule.
The rule is that there are no rules.
Yeah.
Are you in the NFL?
I feel fine. No, but I think it's just like leftover lung damage because it's not like a throat cough; it's a lung cough. So like if I deep breath, I'll cough because my lungs are like still healing. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, that shit lingers.
Yeah. But anyway,
man, oh man, I had no idea the mutants were coming out so soon. This is like rocking my night. I kind of don't know what I'm going to do.
It's like Parker was living under a rock, just trying to play games like a normal person.
Well,
wait, what? There's like 3 factions coming out tomorrow. Oh my god.
The other thing, I gotta wait. I want to talk about them so bad, but I gotta wait.
Yeah.
I'll wait till we're actually on this thing. That's all I want to do is talk about these fucking mutants. But we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get there.
So, are there any movies coming out soon? I feel like there's a movie coming out soon.
The new Jackass is out. I kind of want to see that.
No, I meant like a Marvel movie, but I've never seen a Jackass movie.
Really?
They're good.
So funny.
Yeah.
They're wonderful.
I'm kind of jealous of you because now you get to watch them.
Yeah, I appreciated the show a lot in my youth, and I did not think it could get better than the show. You know, like that shtick. How could this get better? And then I saw the Jackass 1. I was like, this is amazing. Like they managed to make this better somehow. It's pretty good stuff. I will say, Brandon, that you would, knowing like what you appreciate about like like people being dysfunctional and like just leaning into it really hard. That is what Jackass is at its core. I think it's a reality version of that.
But yeah, it's not. It's like it's just pre-YouTube, right? Like it's just what YouTubers do now.
No,
but extreme.
Oh,
I don't think so.
No,
it's very well thought out.
Yeah,
and they have zero shame.
Yeah,
all of them, no shame.
No, like I get that it's basically like we're gonna try and hurt each other and like embarrass each other as much as we can, but like
in the most entertaining way possible.
Yeah,
because it's entirely like scripted to be hilarious in every best way. Like,
I feel like that show. What is it like? Somehow that
I don't know.
show.
For me, it rings back to like basically you're watching a bunch of dumb frat boys, right? And that's never been entertaining to me. Is what I know.
No, these
Because
are not
frat boys-
these
frat
are not
boys have
meatheads.
they have,
These are not-
frat boys have shame.
You don't have to be a meathead to be a frat boy.
But these
Not everyone in the frat does sports.
They're like, okay, so it's like one of those, what would be funny? Let's see if we can get a big nasty snake to bite my finger. And then instead of their finger, somebody goes, let's use your dick.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no way, dude. And then they do it. It is the
Yeah.
funniest thing I've ever
I don't
seen.
see how that's funny.
Well, you're missing out. You're missing out.
I don't think. I think it's actually a little more. I think it's a little more complicated than that. For example, we don't. I haven't seen it yet, but one of the like split seconds previews for this latest movie is okay. So a lot of them are skate stars, right? Like pro skaters, skateboard guys, and so they've got one of them riding a skateboard down a sidewalk, and he's riding it towards this little bitty tiny goofy ramp, and it's like on a ramp over this little like puddle, right?
Mhm.
And so obviously it's not going to work. The ramp is going to fail. He's going to face plant into this puddle, in this street. And so he's going down really, really fast on this sidewalk, and he's going woo, and all of a sudden, blam! He hits a wall that's not there. Like they've painted the street perfectly to where they have the lighting perfectly, so where it looks like he was going to run over this puddle, but he didn't. It was just a wall, so he just hits it like directly in the face and just falls down like, oh Jesus, and everybody just starts laughing. Like that's what the show is, right? Like you think it's going to be this goofy silly bullshit, and then they twist it a little bit. That's why the show is good. That's why I've always appreciated the show.
But like he knows that's a wall.
No, that was the point. Is that he did not know the wall was there. The wall was like on the other side of a bridge, so it was like kind of shadowed, and it from the perspective of the camera, you don't know it's a wall until he hits it. Like you think it's going to be a gag about the guy jumping over a puddle. Like that's what you think. He thinks it is too. That's what he's been told, and so he hits the wall just like full force. And I don't think they're making it up. Another wonderful one is they strapped.
I don't know. I guess to me it always seemed scripted and fake, so it just wasn't that entertaining. I've seen some of the skits. Like, one of my friends was watching Jackass, and they had like the guy sitting in a chair in an apartment, and then like they cut to a like F-16 fighter jet on a runway, and it starts up its engines, and then you realize the guy's just in a cutout of an apartment behind the jet, and then it just keeps ramping up, and eventually it gets to the point where like it blows the walls away, and then it knocks the chair over and sends him flying down. Like that was kind of funny, but it was like, yeah, I guess, but I don't know. It's just never been like something I want to pay money for. Like it's whatever. It's basically sketch comedy, but like there's no rules,
right?
Yeah, it's like,
But it's I feel like what it does for me is it captures. What's the best way to put this? Like I had a group of friends that were like these guys, right? Super clever, and they no shame. They were willing to do things to each other. Now, and it wasn't stupid bullshit like snapping towels or that kind of locker room assholery. It was really complex, intricate, clever things, and so. I loved watching that. I could never participate in that. I'm not that kind of person. And so I loved watching it. It was very entertaining for me. I laughed my ass off thinking about some of the things they did. And somehow this captures that same moment, from college where these guys I knew that would love to prank each other and to trick each other. And it was, I think it appeals to that kind of person, a person who's had that experience or is excited about that kind of experience, or maybe you just didn't have it in your life, but you realize that you find it very entertaining. Because I was friends with these people just so I could find out the things they were doing to each other. That's what I wanted. I think it's wonderful. I think it's fantastic. Every time I think it, and they do a really good job of every time you think the joke is over, the joke really isn't over. There's another joke beyond the joke, and it's great.
Well, that's the only way they can get them to do it anymore. There has to be a fake joke that they think is going to be the actual joke. And then when they get invested, all of a sudden the house collapses on their head.
Right.
Like it's a completely different thing that they never would have agreed to.
But sometimes the joke is good enough. Like one time they had him they put giant ripcord. You know the ripcord rides, where you're like in a seat and you have these two giant bungee cord cranes and it lets you loose. And so they just attach one of those instead of attaching it to like a safety seat harness thing. They attach it to just a porta potty. just a porta potty. And it's like a used porta potty. And so they just had a guy get in it and they just launched it. And so he just flies up in the air, just like holding on to the toilet seat, and it just like bounces him around inside as this thing kind of slowly moves up and down according to these bungee cords. And they put him back on the ground, and he like falls out of it covered in blue shit, and he just starts vomiting everywhere. It was fucking hilarious. Like it was wonderful, because that was the whole joke. Just get in a ripcord porta potty.
That's not funny to me. That's ignorant. Like, why would you get in the porta potty?
The point was just to see what would happen. Like, what does it look like? Well, if you could do this, and that was.
What did you think was gonna happen? It's a bungee cord.
I don't think he was. I don't think anyone was. I don't think anyone was surprised.
We want you to do something. The two items involved are bungee cord and porta potty. I'm out. Like, there's that I don't understand. I don't connect.
Well, Brandon, you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to relate to them. If you want to relate to them, then you're not going to. Like, that's not.
And that's the problem. Like, I don't understand what I'm watching.
Right.
I would pay to see that. And that's the point. I would pay. I'm like, how much?
The porta potty.
You're going to do what?
Well,
how
and
much?
here's the thing, like, and this is why and in my opinion, Always Sunny in Philadelphia is the same kind of voyeurism where you're going, I cannot relate to these people. I am nothing like these people, but I love watching people that I know must exist. This kind of degeneration, this kind of person who is into this kind of thing. Like, I could never eat a rum ham. Like, that sounds terrible. But watching someone eat a rum ham, it's hilarious and it's wonderful. Like, so that's what I feel about like this kind of comedy where it's total like the word is voyeurism, right? I'm excited to watch them do something I would never be able to do. In a million years. You're right, Brandon. You can't relate to it at all. You can't be like, oh, what would I be like in that situation? No, there is no situation in which I'm even remotely close to trying to do one of these things. But it's fun.
I think the thing that, as far as the Always Sunny topic, I think I can relate to the characters, but the whole point of relating to the characters in Always Sunny is that you buy in because you understand their motivations and their reasoning a lot of the time, but they end up in a completely different place than a sane person would ever end up.
Right.
And so like Frank investing in like a gun store, but then he goes on the television and like on the local news and says that he chased off some random thugs with guns, causing like a surge in gun sales.
Right.
And like that's obviously something you would never do, but like investing in a local business makes sense for like, so like you can kind of get there, but then it goes off the rails at one point, which is what makes it funny. And that's kind of the point. But for Jackass, I'm like, you so like say there's like 5 guys on Jackass, 3 or 4 of them know everything going on and they're okay with the situation. Like, it's I guess the concept that it's real doesn't work for me. I don't know if it's the fact that it's actually real and not scripted is bothering me more than the fact that I think it is scripted. I don't know what it is about it. Or maybe I've just seen a lot of bad skits that they've done, because I saw what was it? Was it SNL? There was some TV show that did a spoof on Jackass. And it was funnier than any Jackass I've ever seen. It was Kenny Rogers Does Jackass. I can't remember what TV, or like if it was on SNL or some other skit show. Anyway, I'll send you a link for it later.
Okay.
So is She-Hulk the next thing on Disney Plus?
No, Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
Yeah,
when does that
Knight
start?
Soon.
Pretty soon. We have the like official trailer for it and everything. Cool. I don't know the time. I'll look it up.
I haven't watched that yet.
I'm
watched the
looking
trailer. But yeah, movie wise, I don't. What is the next Marvel movie?
March 30th is Moon Knight.
Okay.
She-Hulk is also in 2022, as is Ms. Marvel.
There's a new Guardian. Wait, no, isn't it? It's Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is coming out. Like
that's the May 6th. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, October 5th.
Oh Jesus Christ! I'm so excited for that.
Thor: Love and Thunder, July 8th, and Morbius, April 1st.
That's right, Morbius.
So I had a friend that just finally went to go see Spider-Man, the new one.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to him about it, and whatever. And then he was finally over here, and I talked to him about it. I'm like, dude, you got to go see it. Like, this is just ridiculous. You haven't seen this. He went to see it, and he just texted me, he goes, I went and saw Spider-Man. I wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
I go, wait till you see it a second time. It's going to hurt you. Like, it's so good.
I haven't seen it twice.
The second time is
Okay.
even better. Like,
Yeah, I'm kind of just waiting to see it. Is it going to be on Disney Plus, I guess? I didn't even think about that.
I don't think so. None of the other stuff is.
No, it will likely never be on Disney Plus. It will likely never be there.
Yeah, if they ever release the Fox stuff, like, I would like to see, like, The Amazing Spider-Man again, now that I'm kind of like, I don't know, Andrew Garfield's not so bad, I guess, maybe, I don't know.
How dare you?
I'm just saying. Look, he got my vote. Like, hey, I liked him in that. He also told me Eternals wasn't that bad, quote unquote, and I'm just like, ugh.
I don't think Eternals was that bad.
Well,
Everybody
no.
likes to hate on it. It was not good. But
Did you like it better or worse than
actively
Shang-Chi?
bad. It was worse than Shang-Chi, but it was in the same category for me.
Yeah, I did. I tried to watch Shang-Chi again, and I couldn't make it through. I was like, nope, I'm not in.
I liked a lot of like the comedic banter, but like I just couldn't buy into like the plot.
Oh, I like the
Like,
actors.
I like the actors. The like the dad with the rings is just like, I understand being like grief ridden, but like there's no logic in the decisions he makes repeatedly. He repeatedly just makes illogical decisions.
I haven't seen it. Spoiler alert.
You haven't seen Shang-Chi?
No.
It's on Disney Plus. Just watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be part of the story.
I have 2 shows and 3 movies on the list right now, and I think it's number 3.
What's the 3 movies?
The first is Dune. I have to see Dune.
You haven't seen it? Oh my goodness.
I have not seen Dune.
I haven't seen Dune.
Yeah, good one. That's a good watch.
Zero interest in seeing Dune.
Well, then it's not on your fucking list. Then shut up. It's on Parker's list.
It's not on my list. Yeah, I know. I'm commenting on Parker's list.
Nobody cares what you think.
Dune is better than your list.
I
I haven't even seen it, and I'm sure it is.
I've just never been into the whole Dune thing.
I actually I've never read a word of it. I didn't see the earlier movie. I have a feeling this is going to be exceptional. This is a feeling I have. Dune is on it, and Shang-Chi's number 3. What was number 2? Oh, that new movie. Shit, it's got a really like commonplace name. It's about the asteroid coming to Earth, and no one takes it seriously.
Oh yeah. It's Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up. Yeah,
it's good.
It was not what I expected.
I thought it was going to be a big middle finger to like the way people treated COVID and science in general.
Yes. That is what it is.
Yeah, that's what I expected. I expected it to be a big this is the way people treat science now.
It's way more on the satire side than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be pretty serious. It's not serious at all.
No.
Yeah.
It's almost like Idiocracy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's Idiocracy, but toned down. If Idiocracy is a 10...
Idiocracy, but like 10.
It's like a 7.
Yeah.
It's like a 7 instead of a 10.
Yeah. Idiocracy might be an 11.
But yeah.
Dude, you get a hand job at Starbucks. What's a full body latte? We don't have time for a hand job. Are you guys excited?
About what?
The podcast we're about to record.
Oh, absolutely. I'm in.
Oh yeah, podcasts.
I hate you people. Bad people.
I am excited to talk about these ex jerks. That's what I'm excited for.
The ex jerks.
Yeah.
I'm over all of them. All their spoilers and shit, and everybody talks about them. Like, I feel like the release date is actually like 2 months behind. It fucking sucks. Like the way
it is. We missed a lot of stuff.
We missed stuff, and the way like the community does things, it's just kind of sucks.
I really don't like that some people get the shit early. It really bugs me.
Mm-hmm. I wish at least they wouldn't spoil the cards. That way you have to have a physical model. Because again, like,
well, they have to though. That was the problem with Monpok, was they wouldn't spoil the cards. They wouldn't put them anywhere online, and then people would get them and post them on Facebook. So it doesn't matter. Like with social media nowadays, it's just too readily accessible.
Yeah.
And so if they don't spoil it, the people that get the product will spoil it. The problem is they need to fucking nail down their goddamn supply chain because it makes the street dates feel completely invalid. And
It
so
does,
I
yeah.
have to argue with my sales rep to get them to ship me my product more than like 3 days early. And then even when I get it, I can't sell it, even though people are playing at my store with the models that are not out yet.
And see, that's
that they bought online.
See, that's the thing that I actually think is bullshit. I don't know why that even exists. Why, like, why the street date?
That should not be possible.
Yeah.
That you can order something from a person, not from a business, but from a person in another country and get it before the actual release date. What the fuck?
If that is true, in my opinion, there should be no such thing as release dates. Do release dates help the bottom line somehow? Like, do they help you and your store, Brandon? If there
release dates are enforced by the companies so that basically, I don't know, they can control their own product. It's kind of its own thing. It's to prevent the people from cornering the secondary market for the most part. But because, for example, you could buy, let's say, 50 Hulkbusters. Get them in early, break street dates, sell them to a buddy out the back door so there's no official record of it. He goes online, immediately posts them on eBay for double retail. And you can get it a week or two early. Like, that's what's supposed to not happen.
Wait, you can get... Because retailers can get it earlier? But I thought that was the problem.
No, yeah, like this stuff has to... They don't make all this stuff the day before the release day, right? Like, the infrastructure behind making 10,000 Hulkbusters or more... and then getting them worldwide in time for the release date takes about a year. And so this stuff is being produced 6 to 8 months in advance after it's been conceptualized and finalized. And then it gets produced, shipped to the main warehouses and headquarters, which is basically Asmodee at this point. And then it gets distributed by Asmodee to all the different wholesalers. The wholesalers send it to the retailers. A lot of people order direct from Asmodee, though, so that's basically where you get it. And then the retailers are supposed to hold it till the day of. But obviously, in Europe, they don't give a shit, and because they're just selling it whenever the fuck they get it. And some of the things, like Enchantress, they're getting months in advance, and they just ship it out instead of holding it. Like in the US, for the most part, like when a Magic set comes out, I won't have the Magic set in the building till like 2 days before the pre-release. So if something gets fucked up, there's no fail-safe. But that's how paranoid they are about people selling their shit early.
Because, again, I'm not trying to be contrary here, but how does that hurt their bottom line if somebody sells things early?
Oh, I don't know that it super does. I don't know that it actually affects the producer that much. But so it affects the other stores. Like, for example, if, let's say there's 13 game stores in Kansas City, and one of them breaks street date, where are you going to go to buy your product?
Okay, so it hurts the stores...
It hurts the stores.
Okay, got it.
It's like the guy who cuts in line on the bread line. It's like,
got it. You're
hurting everyone behind you to your benefit.
Yeah.
And so, because of this, the developers and the companies that make this stuff have put hard street dates on. And, it was supposed to be like spoilers and stuff too. Like, it helps them in that regard. But with, AMG, they fucking spoil everything in advance anyway. But, like, how did we find out about the Colossus Ultimate Encounter? Someone posted pictures of it online because they got it before it was announced.
Mm-hmm.
They got it. Yeah. They had it before it was announced. Yeah. Like, they owned it because somebody sold it to them. Like, a retail sold it to them or something.
So, like, I have 2 of the Unstoppable Colossus kits at the store now. Like, I've ordered them because I knew about them. I called my rep, told her on the phone I wanted them. She shipped them to me. And they still haven't been publicly announced to my knowledge, unless I just missed it.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, like, they're not even... I see what you're saying.
Now, I don't know that there's no street date on it, but I don't know that they've... Like, I haven't seen it on their website, and they probably said it on a stream or something. Like, look for it coming up soon. Mm-hmm. But I haven't seen it, like, publicized anywhere. And so, like, I wouldn't even know that this was an Ultimate Encounter unless... Jake told me that he saw on Discord somebody posting pictures of the cards.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just weird. I feel like they need to get a handle on this, and I understand it's really hard from Atomic Mass's perspective, because they're not even distributing the product. Asmodee is distributing the product.
Right. It is kind of strange.
It feels like a bummer. It's always a bummer. This stuff. Like I'm so not excited. I've already seen all the crap. Like I know what I want to do with it. Where it felt initially. It was very exciting.
They're spoiling stuff too far in advance because there used to be like the week of. Remember?
Yeah.
It was like the week of the release we would start getting stuff, and then there was like 1 or 2 things in the box we didn't know about. But now it's like we know everything a month.
But like you said, the reason why is they felt. I mean, I'm sure they're. I don't know their head, but it seems like their logic is, well, somebody's just going to spoil it across the internet. We might as well make a statement about it.
It might be, yeah, sure. It's very possible. I like the panel to plays.
For sure.
I think maybe just push them closer. And I know they don't want to info dump. And so they don't want to do like, here's all 4 box sets coming out in 2 days on a Thursday. And you're like, oh, like that's a lot to go through. So they want to like kind of like drop it in. And so it's fine. But they definitely need to get a handle on release dates. That's getting really annoying. I'm like talking to my rep. I'm like, should I just break street date? Like, what's going on here? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, we've missed release dates because there was a shipping error. Because they wouldn't send us our stuff too early. Like, it's like, well, we don't want them to have it 2 weeks early. So we'll send it the week of. So they'll like, schedule it for me to get it on a Monday. And it releases that Friday. That's, like, the soonest they're usually comfortable sending it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the warehouse doesn't process it in time or is backed up. Or someone forgets to put the order in. And so it doesn't even get put in until Wednesday. And I get the following Monday and we miss the release day. And so I'm the only store in the city that doesn't have the fucking product. It's very annoying.
That's retarded.
I feel like I've ranted about this before.
Probably.
I don't know if I've done it on the podcast. I know I say it at the store.
I guess the effect that it has on the community, like Jeremy was having, is profound. This idea that there are release dates that everybody has to adhere to, but no, not actually release dates you have to adhere to. It's a weird double existence.
Like, not to call anybody out, but I know Jeremy knows there's people in the community that order their stuff online and get it early.
Yeah.
And so like
absolutely.
There's people that had, Hulkbuster months in advance.
Dormammu months in advance.
Dormammu months in advance. It's like, and then when we went to the fucking event in St. Louis, like it was advertised only things that were released were going to be available. And the first round I played against Convocation a month before they came out. It's like, that's not fun.
Yeah.
Like going and playing at stuff that you not only haven't prepared for, but you don't even understand how it works because it's not legal in the game.
Yeah.
I would have felt better if they sat down like, I'm doing the Thanos Infinity Saga Ultimate encounter. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, so you can take 2 18-point rosters against me. I'm like, all right, sure, whatever. Like, I would have had more fun doing that than playing against Convocation without ever reading their cards.
Yeah, that's quite the shit show.
Yeah. And the guy was nice. I mean, nothing against him, but, like, it was advertised. Like, if they had said, hey, Convocation's going to be illegal if you have the models, I could have put the time in to read the cards and learn. But, like, that was dumb.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember this existing like this in War Machine. I don't remember this in War Machine.
It did not.
Did it?
No, it did happen in War Machine. It was just in a very different way. Things that were released at the convention were legal at that convention.
Right, I remember that.
That was commonly before street date. So if, like, the new Warcaster, like Sorsha 3 came out that weekend, even though her street date was 3 weeks in the future, they would sell her early that weekend.
I don't remember...
And that stuff would be legal.
I don't remember hearing that people had practiced with Sorsha 3 before Sorsha 3 came out. Like, that was a
CID thing. That happened after CID became...
Okay, let's talk about War Machine. Let's talk about Mark II. I don't remember in Mark II people walking around with models 3 weeks before they came out, unless they went to a con and they got it there. Because
con exclusives.
Yes, con exclusive stuff. So like
that was it.
But that was the only option. How did they do that? How did they accomplish that? Whereas it seems like you can't do that for Marvel Crisis Protocol. It's impossible. How did they accomplish that?
It's not impossible. It's just not happening. Like for some reason, the way the Europe releases are just going out early, and then they don't seem to care. Because you can't tell me it's been happening for 2 years and they haven't given it. They've tried to stop it and not been able to. That doesn't make sense.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like there's so fuck another game that's made by nearly the same company, X-Wing. I don't remember ever being.
Can you imagine buying X-Wing shit three months early online? Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense.
Yes, I've never seen that happen in X-Wing ever. I don't get it. I don't get what it is about MCP that they just kind of let the floodgates go. My guess is, this is my guess, conjecture time. I think it's because this game is not competitive and they don't care. they don't care that some people will know more about the models than other models, because this game is supposed to be about playing your favorite Marvel characters. It's not supposed to be about,
Maybe.
balancing.
I also
balancing
think
tournament settings.
If that was the case, why do I have to follow Street Date?
You're right. It seems like what they've done is, on the one hand, they've said, should we do a Street Date thing? Like, should we have Street Dates as important? Like, yeah, every miniatures game, Street Dates are important because it's part of like a release cycle, like a tradition.
Well,
Cool.
It's still
But
very unfair advantage for certain stores. Like I
Right.
said, where it's like small community thing. We have 4 game stores in our city. One game store gets them 3 days before the other game stores.
Right.
Congrats, you just lost all your sales.
Right. And so
Yeah.
like that's a good idea. Let's support our local game store. Let's be part of this tradition. And then they got an email after the first 2 months that said, "Hey, the entire continent of Europe is just ignoring this." And they went, it's not really a competitive game. I'm not really worried about it. Like I don't
think that's the case.
I don't understand then how. Well, I guess my point is, how is it that Europe and Australia and all these countries that are constantly participating in these other miniatures games, we don't see this kind of behavior. It's really odd.
Do you think it's like a sales perspective though? Like, say a new Sorcerer comes out and they sell 40,000 of them or whatever gamer numbers are, but a new Thor comes out and they sell 1,200. I mean, like, are the numbers just not that big to matter so much in grand scheme? Like, I don't know. I just don't think people are watching in the same way.
I don't think the people at AMG really have much say in it. Like, they can yell at Asmodee, but Asmodee is the one distributing the product.
But I mean, the reason you don't do it with Magic is because, God help you, Magic finds out, they just stop selling you Magic cards, right? Like, they just don't let you do it anymore.
Like, just imagine if we went around and said, hey, I know pre-release is this week. There's literally a pre-release this week, so this is a perfect example. So starting Friday at 7 p.m., we can sell product. If I posted in the Magic Facebook group saying, hey guys, you can buy boxes right now, we'd be sold out in 3 hours. There'd be no question. And like, everyone would come to our store and buy them. We could charge $10 over list price. They wouldn't care.
But don't they punish you? Like, if they find out, they pull the product,
we would immediately
right?
be like disbanded from selling Magic, from running Magic tournaments. Like, if somebody could prove it. But I know some stores do it, like the smaller, like, card only shops. A lot of them sell out the back door to like people they know.
But I mean,
think about it this way: like, even if you bought a box from that store, and you wanted to turn them in, what would you do?
I'd call the police. I'd dial 911.
You dial 911, and they would hang up on you.
Actually,
or maybe send the police car out to arrest you for wasting their time.
I would pull.
Nobody would care.
Oh yeah, no. I figure I would pull out a VHS tape. I would play it. And then there's that warning at the beginning. I would finally get a chance to call that
and
number.
You'd be like, these guys doing it. Like, call the FBI.
Yes, that's the FBI. I would like to speak to the FBI today. Thank you.
Give me Henry Hoover, please. I want to report a crime.
I need to speak with the FBI.
I need one Mr. Hoover. This is a top emergency.
It would be identical to Burn After Reading that movie. It would be just like that. They'd be like, what is it?
Parker, can you raise your mic? You're popping a little bit. Higher.
Test.
Higher. All right, that's too high.
Peanut.
I
can't see now.
Salad.
Look to your left.
Can you hear me?
Look to your left. That's your right. There you go. Try that.
Test.
A little bit
Testing.
higher.
I don't think it goes higher. This is it.
That's it.
Yeah. Test.
All right, pull it away a little bit, just outside.
Test.
Yeah, that should be good.
I don't think any of this does anything. I think he just fucks with you. It's an ownership thing. You are his dog.
It's a power trip.
All right, raise it a little more. Okay, a little less, a little.
Dogs aren't possessions.
Perfect. All right, now lay down.
All right, Now lick the peanut butter off my balls.
God. Too far.
Is it? Okay. So yeah, I think the distribution channel thing needs to be addressed. That's super frustrating, and I don't know how many people it's directly hurting, because I know that particularly our customers that actually like are loyal to our shop don't buy their stuff online, even if it's out super early. And so I'd like to thank them for that if you're listening. But I know that there are some stores in the city where a lot of the sales that they would be making are going to internet, and so that's especially frustrating. But anyway, hopefully that gets figured out. Is there anything else you guys want to chat about before we get started?
Nah, I want to get going.
Ready to go?
I stayed up too late last night.
I would like to talk about
crash.
Parker's microphone.
I mean, you say
microphone
that,
a little more.
When we stop pre-rambling will have any effect on when we stop podcasting. That is not how this works.
That's true.
Yeah, we have a set time we go to, and when my Audacity says that time, we stop recording.
Okay.
When it fills up.
And not a second before. All right. Although, like last week, maybe much after. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started, though. Let me put in a timestamp here.
Yes! Finally did it.
We did it, guys.
I know this was kind of a vent session today. I feel like it was a bunch of.
It was a bit of a vent session.
It was a bit of a vent
I didn't
session.
mean it to turn into that, but it kind of did.
But one of the things about this is one of the things I was trying to turn the conversation to is like, what do you do? And the answer is like, don't play him or play him because somebody else is playing him. And that's the weird thing. That's how you know a model is way outside the curve. Is
one thing.
Yeah.
One thing we did not talk about, and it's one of the best mechanics of this game, and it's one of the worst. If you do 1,000 damage to somebody on their front side, they just stop. They collect all of their power, and then they come at you next turn. Well, Doc Voodoo makes you fucking pay so hard for it. Like, you can't just wipe him. Like, that's the only cure.
Yeah. I don't know how, like, there's so many ways you could fix possession, mainly by deleting it, but I don't know.
Or maybe it should have just been a goddamn
tactics card.
A tactics card would have fixed it, and also it just could have been a what are those called now? A minion or whatever the fuck those are called.
Grunt.
A grunt.
Yeah.
It could have been a version of grunt. They just came out with some. It just could have been a grunt.
Possession.
If it's within one of you, you count as.
I cannot believe it wasn't just like the mind control thing, right? Like that every other person that has some kind of control effect, like a possession or mind control type
a bow effect.
Advanced short. Yeah, it's like advanced short. Everybody has advanced short. Loki can make people see perfect illusions for long durations of time, and he can move people short. It's like Doc Voodoo, delete them from the universe they never existed. You're like, what? Like, guys, maybe we should calm down.
He has filled your soul with Jesus Christ. Like, you're like, what? What are you talking about?
A Haitian voodoo god, yeah. Haitian voodoo brother. One. His brother is super uninterested in playing the scenario.
I feel like
super uninteresting.
I feel like every time someone looks at Doc Voodoo's card, they should just see that Rick and Morty trailer for the Two Brothers movie, and it's like two brothers, like Mexican space armada, old women, cats. Like, what the fuck? It's like it does everything. There's even old women and cats. Like, oh god.
I actually just thought of one model that actually has a game against him, and it does require him to fail on his defense dice, but Ghost Rider can come from across the board, double hit him, and then he'll have so much power the next turn. If you have priority, you can just pin and stare him. And even if you don't kill him, like, he's unlikely to be able to do a whole lot in retaliation. Like, there are models.
I'm not a big proponent of defense dice, but 10 versus 6 is not actually likely to kill him in one hit.
Right. But if you do 4, that knocks down his power a fair amount.
Yeah. You'd be better off spending that power highway to helling him to drag him into the middle of your army so everyone could attack him.
Yeah. But again, that's a 5-point model that you're trying to kill a 4-point model, and you're still, that still seems fine. But
Parker, have you heard about I'm on the internet. Have you heard about these people that have OnlyFans?
The website called OnlyFans? Yes, I've heard of OnlyFans.
Yeah, it says OnlyFans. They should really upgrade to air conditioners, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm getting a head shake. Jeremy does not approve of
Jeremy,
that one.
Jeremy was on you from the very beginning. I don't know if you noticed.
Jeremy knew it. Jeremy knew it was coming from a mile away.
Jeremy started that head shake as soon as you said OnlyFans.
He's already doing that. Jeremy, as soon as we clocked out, Jeremy was doing the head shake.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep, I was out.
Like, get fucked.
I'm not playing games with you anymore.
Yeah.
No more reindeer games.
Yeah, it's unfortunate he's gonna get me every time now. It's too bad.
Well, look, nobody got
It was good
harder than the Mortal Kombat one.
It was
Listen.
good while it lasted.
Yeah.
I drank too many beers during this podcast. I don't know if you noticed, but as soon as Parker starts doing the comic corner, I literally sprinted to the bathroom.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't think I've ever had to pee so bad in my entire life. I was like, did you guys see me like leaning like this while we were doing the end of the thing? I was like squeezing my legs together. It hurt so bad. Oh man. I kept it together though.
Good job. Well done. Very professional.
Yeah, I know, right?
Brandon, you did miss because you jumped away. I mentioned in my transition to the comic corner that in the comic books, Brother Daniel is just like in this game, the biggest,
completely busted. Yeah.
He's the biggest Deus Ex Machina, who's just like Scarlet Witch with all of her unbridled power has turned evil and is going to wreck everybody. She's already like killed Quicksilver and is maiming Magneto, and there's nothing anybody could do to stop her. How could we possibly stop her? Brother Daniel goes, I'm you now. And she goes, oh no, I'm Brother Daniel now. And that's
Brother Daniel hits the night button. I go, no.
I'm inside of you.
I can feel now. You help me feel now.
Oh my god.
Alright, I'm saving a lot of these for next time. I'm going to get Jeremy when he's not expecting it this time.
I mean, seriously, you have never got anyone harder than when you got me with the Mortal Kombat one. That was the most solid get ever.
I don't remember the Mortal Kombat one.
It's a Scandinavian church song.
I was at least 4 minutes after you hit me with it, trying to figure out what the hell.
Did you forget? Did Parker forget? I just got him again.
I don't think I ever. Was I not here for that one? Was that one?
You were definitely here for this one.
You were definitely
here for this one.
A Finnish hymn.
Yeah, it's a Scandinavian church song. A Finnish hymn. Fuck. I want to burn one from next week. Are you guys right? Parker.
Mm-hmm.
This is an easy one, but
okay.
What do you call 2 crows that are stuck together? Velcros. It's not a very good one, but I would get that out of the way.
Yeah, that was a nice one.
I got five better ones for next time.
Okay.
That's a softener.
Yeah,
it's a softener. You can lead with that. Just don't finish.
Mm-hmm.
Don't finish with that one.
Yeah.
I want you to know, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I actually nearly fell over. I stood up at one point just so I wouldn't fall asleep, and I actually almost bit it into the desk.
Oh my god!
I thought that was when I said finish him, and you almost collapsed.
No. I was standing here like this, and I don't know what you guys are talking about with voodoo, but I literally did this. I went, and
if you had face planted on the desk, just like whiplashed back and fell down, it's like, all right, so Parker has died, but
full
we got
wipe
it on
out
film, so it's okay.
Yeah, captured on podcast.
I do have a redaction from 2 weeks ago that we need to print right now. So unfortunately, some people at home, I've been told by one of our listeners that my audio kind of spiked right as I said the punchline to one of our dad jokes. And so this is me repeating the dad joke for anyone who wasn't able to make it out. And so I'm just going to do it and we'll just get past it.
Okay.
It was, what do you call a 4-man rock group where no one sings? Mount Rushmore was the punchline. And apparently I got cut off, so.
Now they can sleep at night. Thank you.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, you cut out. What was the punchline? He asked me for the punchline. He's like, I gotta know.
Is our fan base growing?
Yeah, let's see. I think we have 4 downloads. Oh, this is not a joke. It is a joke, but it's not a dad joke. Did you guys know that there's a surefire way to increase your downloads. This is not going in a good place.
Oh, God.
You basically say anything that you're not legally allowed to say in the United States, which, by the way, is exactly one phrase. Parker probably knows what it is. You know this. There's one phrase you're not allowed to say in America. And that's that you're going to do something to a very particular person.
Oh.
Jeremy is on board.
I could probably guess.
Yeah, you're not allowed to say that you're going to do X to the president.
Oh, yeah.
You'll get a visitor.
Because it has to be considered a credible threat at all times.
Right.
So if you say that, you get a guaranteed download every week from the FBI.
Increased by 1.
Yeah, increased by exactly 1 download. And then you can say hi to the FBI guys every week because they have to listen to your garbage podcast now.
They're like, number 1, what is Crisis Marvel?
Yeah.
Number 2, yeah. Why is Crisis Marvel?
I like the pictures, just guys outside my house in vans with headsets, and they're like, "What is he gonna say it again?" We gotta find the dibs. Like, what's going on? All right. So from February 2nd to February 8th, we had 311 downloads.
What?
That's pretty good.
That's
a
damn.
week. It's not even a week.
Nice.
Yeah, 300 listens in a week. It's actually a huge spike. It is our next highest before 20, our highest in. Oh wow, this is a huge spike. Our highest previous week was 178.
Wow.
Before 2022. Our second highest in 2022 was 233. This week was 311.
Well, I'm glad we could do our part to kill it by just bitching about
we
Doc
just
Voodoo.
fucking murder trained it into the ground this week.
But
I guess when we supply we supply actual content of like, here's the way missions work, and people are like, excellent, I'm tuning in.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good point. Oh shit. We actually have a real topic and people listened and now we stopped and nobody's gonna come back.
Oh fuck.
Oh man.
We did it again.
Well,
send all your complaints to parker.guidry.aol.com.
Yep.
I don't know what your email
that
is.
That guy deserves it.
There's an @ symbol in there somewhere.
Yeah.
At AOL Greenfield. Like,
you know, I wonder if at LVO people had mentioned, what podcast they listened to, and maybe a couple of them mentioned us.
That's not nothing, because like when we were in St. Louis for that, there was a lot of people like, oh, what do you listen to? And there was like a lot of ones I had never even heard of.
So that's possible.
Yeah.
That, and I have been selling shirts and, gear and stuff.
Merch.
We have our own merch now.
Let it be known, if you've bought t-shirts online for our podcast, they're bootleg. They're not official.
Shut up! They're fucking official.
I've got $0.
They're quite official. Your signature's on them.
Man.
I actually think we should make shirts at this point. I should put a t-shirt logo together. Well, you know how I like doing things, especially when I've already got like fucking 3.5 mountains of shit to do right now. Mm-hmm. It's when I like putting shit on the list.
Well, let's make a pact that next week we keep doing actual content. That's a good idea.
All right, we can finish up the missions next week.
Yeah. So if you're
so funny, I can't believe it. This reminds me exactly of many episodes of Always Sunny, when the bar actually becomes successful and they don't know how to handle it, so they just run it into the ground and goes back to being non-profitable immediately because they fuck it all up.
We're definitely gonna have to sell alcohol to kids. We have to do something. Yeah.
Dee's like, well, they must be coming because I tell all these funny jokes to all the customers.
Oh, God.
She's like, what? You're never here. When do you tell jokes to people? It's like, no, that's why they're coming. And so she goes home and writes all these jokes, and she's trying to tell people jokes when they're placing their orders. And like, God. Can you just shut the fuck up and take my order, please? And like, hey, you bitch, why don't you just like fucking let me tell you my goddamn joke? And there's like people are yelling at her from other tables. Will you take our order, please? I ordered my drinks like 3 hours ago. And she's like, shut up, you bitch. It's so great. It's just like they had like a week of success and it fell apart.
Oh my God.
I like when they all said they spit.
Hey, we have a tournament coming up in like a week and a half or 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, it's true. Next Saturday.
I'll be there. It's my birthday.
I'll be there to oppress people. That sounds great.
I'm going to play Brother Daniel and Brother Daniel, and then Brother Daniel's brother.
You're like, what list are you playing? I'm playing a Brother Daniel list.
Yeah.
Oh, what is that? It has Brother Daniel in it.
Yeah.
And he also brings along these other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon, you should play the Brotherhood of Daniel.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I
Oh,
thought
that
we were
needs.
going to get there at some point.
Yeah.
That's a list. The Brotherhood of Daniel.
Well,
Oh,
it's not really what they want to do, though, but it would be cute.
it writes itself. It just
I got the black lung.
got the black lung pop.
Yeah, and who's better than Rogue in Brotherhood? Brother Daniel.
Here's, for contrast, just for contrast, do you want to take a guess at how many downloads we got in the week of February 10th of last year?
Oh, Jesus.
18.
50.
Jared. Parker was closest without going over. It was 20.
Wow.
This week of February 10th, we basically have 310.
Hot damn.
That's a factor of like 3,000%.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's like 7 cents, right? Like, do we earn any of that?
Still, only 2/3 of our listener base is in the United States. That blows me away.
I'm telling you.
I know there's a huge.
We're really
Canada-
farming Sri Lanka hard.
Sri Lanka is just getting decimated by us.
Canada, the English.
Yeah.
If anybody was still curious, I can set your fears aside. We are still the #1 podcast in Singapore.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That is
Hell yeah.
Are you
Always Sunny inspired Marvel Crisis Protocol content that is recorded in Kansas City.
You basically
So
can't.
we're still #1 demographic in Singapore.
You can't throw a rock in Uzbekistan without hitting a Infamous fan.
No, we don't have any from there.
Oh no!
Fuck.
I thought one of the stands
What the
we had.
fuck?
the
I've
big
never
base.
even heard. I have literally never heard of this country.
Uzbekistan.
Guernsey? Guernsey.
Yeah,
Guernsey?
Guernsey, and I believe
Guernsey?
it's
I didn't know that was a country.
Yeah, I believe it's in Africa. I believe.
Malaysia, Ireland, Denmark, Brazil, Poland, Sweden, Norway, Austria, Netherlands, Australia, Germany, Philippines, United Kingdom, Canada.
You said Guernsey. It's Guernsey.
Guernsey is how you say it?
Yeah, it's in the English Channel. Yeah, Guernsey.
Hello, Guernsey. Thank you for listening. Colombia, South Korea, Jersey, the country, not the state.
I can't wait until we
Japan.
break into North Korea.
Iraq.
Then we're really going to take off.
To North Korea.
When
We're gonna get. It's
they're
gonna be an
forced to
interview
listen.
type situation
If we get,
where
if
they're
we
gonna
get,
invite us to
if
come
we get
fill
s-
the MCP tournament.
if we get smuggled into
And
North
we're gonna
Korea,
be asked by the CIA to take out Kim. Like, it's gonna be great.
I would love it if we got smuggled in a USB up somebody's asshole in North Korea. That would be absolutely awesome. Just
Parker's taking the one for the team and shoving the football up his ass.
No, it's not gonna lie. I'm pretty excited about that.
Mm.
If this is
We're
something
muling
I have
it
to look
in.
forward to.
Perfect.
Dennis Rodman's calling me. Kim's asked me all kind of fucking questions about you guys. Who are you?
Our top episodes all time are all like 60 plus, basically. So
Really?
Clearly, people are liking the recent ones.
Mhm.
We're getting better.
Slowly growing.
I'm reading all about Guernsey. I'm not gonna lie. It looks like a fantastic place.
They've got a great pizza joint if we're ever there. 5
I mean,
stars on
basically,
Yelp.
It's basically like Spain, right?
It's in the English Channel. I think it's currently
It looks like their flag is a
yeah, it's the sovereign state of the United Kingdom.
it's like a red cross with
Uh-huh.
a orange cross over the top.
Right. It is. Yeah, it's part of the United Kingdom. Yeah.
Nice.
It's only got 62,000 people on it. That kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, and 7 of them listen to
Christ.
us.
Jesus Christ. How many people?
62,000.
More people than that live in my city.
You're right. So this is like
That's a tiny fucking island.
that's what I'm saying. Like I think if you shouted somewhere in the central part of Guernsey, one of our fans would probably hear you.
You're saying we might go viral in Guernsey.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
You can't swing it.
Because
You
if a
can't swing a
second
cat.
person starts listening, it'll be an epidemic. Like,
I'm really excited to go to Guernsey one day and just be like, go to the local pub and say, "Hey, does anyone here ever listen to Infamous?" And before I even get to Infamous, somebody goes, "Is that Parker's voice? Where have I heard that before?"
Oh, there's no doubt. Like, we are so close to just setting up like live venues at this point. I mean, we are that big.
It'll be like
our
the movie,
number one.
It'll be like the movie Tropic Thunder, where like he goes to that weird village in North Korea or Vietnam.
Oh yeah,
and they like all know his Simple Jack movie,
Yeah.
and then they torture him and make him perform the movie.
Yeah.
It'll be like that, but with Guernsey.
I'm really confident that Guernsey is my new favorite country.
I'm not being non-joking aside. Like if we actually went to the UK for some stupid reason, I feel like we would have to stop in Guernsey at this point.
Right.
Oh yeah.
We have to
Like,
make an appearance.
even if you were only there for 6 hours and we were running around with signs and megaphones screaming, like, I feel like we could find the person, right?
Well, there's got to be a
And we
game
could have
store in
concert
Guernsey,
shirts
right?
where we just have.
All right,
one
well, let's give
location
me
on the
any
back.
more information. I have to know how many people in Guernsey listen to us. Give
Oh,
me
man.
the info.
Also, I got to find out where's the Guernsey game store, right?
Okay, here we go. St. Peter's Port in Guernsey.
Oh,
is the location that listens. God, can you imagine if like we were actually shouting out a specific person? He's like, ah!
Yeah. No, I'm quite positive.
Yeah, there's got to be a real person on the other end of this, right? This isn't a bot.
oh.
No.
If you live in St. Peter Port, Guernsey, please contact the podcast
We
via
got you.
Facebook.
We got you.
Oh.
Oh man, this is great. According to this, this is it won't tell me how many people. 100% of the population of Guernsey that listens is in St. Peter Port.
I'm guessing it's at least 7.
It's gotta be like
400.
400. It's probably like 6,000. Like 6,000 people listen.
Give or take. Give or take.
Man, I'm looking hard for like the local game store. I'm having a hard time. Maybe they have to go to the mainland to play.
It knows that was St. Peter Port is in Guernsey. Oh man, this is a nice looking port.
No, this is a quality.
This
place.
is a nice place. Yeah, it kind of looks like Spain, but what I would expect Spain to look like anyway.
No, yeah, this is obviously.
That's some beautiful water.
I tell you,
Is it-
if this person in Guernsey contacts us, we will have shirts made, and we will send that person a shirt.
Well, I was gonna say if we actually had shirts made, the front should obviously be the infamous logo,
Uh-huh.
right? But then on the back, it's like #1 podcast in Singapore that focuses on Marvel Crisis Protocol, influenced by Always Sunny in Philadelphia, recorded in Kansas City, Kansas. It's like it's like a paragraph of
That's
words
nice.
on the
Can
back.
we get
Yeah.
Can we get like listen to in Guernsey something like that? We gotta
Yeah.
put.
Favorite podcast of St. Peter Port, Guernsey.
100% of listeners. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm really.
These are all
confident.
facts. We're dropping facts.
So you said
All
the other
right.
one wasn't. You said the other one was in Jersey, the city or this.
The country of Jersey.
That's a stone's throw away from Guernsey. These guys.
Is it
must be-
really?
These two
they're
are the
right-
gamers.
They're
We
right
gotta
next
get
to
these
each
two
other.
guys together.
I'm not gonna lie. These guys must be like playing and listening.
They're breaking down borders every day.
Oh, I found their store. It's in Jersey, called Next Level Gaming.
Fuck
Next
yeah.
Level Gaming, shout out!
Yeah. So
I love analytics. The analytics are great.
While Guernsey is an agricultural community, Jersey is really a metropolitan center. I can tell.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there you go. Okay, it's starting to make more sense. Putting this together.
So
Oh my
I think our
God.
listener from Guernsey just hops a ferry over to Jersey and plays, on Wednesday nights. Has a good time. Listens to our podcast. I'm really
St. Helier is where our Jersey listener lives.
Hellier?
I think people are gonna stop logging into
No.
apps after this
No,
episode.
no shit.
Yep.
No shit. Saint. I don't know if that's pronounced Hellier. Actually, maybe Hellier. But
Hellier.
Next Level Gaming is it's in the town right next to that. It's in Le Manche Cochon. Maybe is how you say it. Le Manche Cochon. Yeah, it's nearby.
We're
Very
gonna be
close.
Google Earthing this guy's house by next week.
Oh yeah.
No. I don't want to creep on this guy. I'm just or girl. We don't want to assume their gender, but it's. I'm really excited.
Well, I can tell you by our analytics, 87% of our listeners identify as male.
Okay.
All right. Well, the couple percent that are not, I like to picture my gamers in Jersey as
like 8-pound, 3-ounce little baby gamers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Man.
Oh, inside jokes are the best.
I am super pumped that I now have international friends.
Parker's on Google Maps,
International friends.
fucking zooming into people's houses, looking for bumper stickers.
Yeah.
It's this guy right here.
It's amazing to me to think, across the planet, somebody's like, you know what I want to hear? 3 guys from Kansas City talk about,
It does seem
this
abstract, right? Like, very
Yeah.
abstract.
Yeah.
You might even say we're bringing kingdoms into a united form.
Yeah.
By, like crossing borders here.
Mm-hmm. Crossing oceans, maybe.
Yeah. Entire bodies of water.
Yeah. Whole
They might be small streams.
Whole channels.
Entire
of
channels.
water.
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't know.
god, we
I
gotta
don't
stop
know how to-
recording. This has gone way too long.
Yeah, I was
this
gonna
was
say.
meant to be a bit. It is so long now.
This is totally worth it, though.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. This
Yeah.
is good. Oh man.
So if you don't send us a lot of money, Parker will put your name and address on the air very soon, motherfuckers.
Oh boy. 8% of our listeners are from the United Kingdom. 11% from Canada. 6% from the Philippines. That's surprising.
We're nailing it.
How many people live in the Philippines?
Oh, millions, I'm pretty sure.
Tens of hundreds.
Tens of hundreds. Entire dozens.
Yeah, Philippines. Yeah, the Philippines is a very populated place.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up. You guys good?